Thrive EBR brings together the East Baton Rouge Library System, Council on Aging, Mosquito Abatement, and the City Parish in order to tackle the parish's most pressing needs. This will be on your ballot come this November. Number one takes us back out to the Gulf as it now looks like, or I should say the tropics, as it now looks like that little yellow X that could have turned into Dexter but remained Invest 93L and dumped a lot of rain on us yesterday. It is officially gone as far as any level of disturbance or system is out there. That doesn't mean we're done with the rain overall, but it means any possibility of that being a named storm is now completely off the table. What you got, John?
Well, Elon Musk is on a posting spree to discredit President Donald Trump's claim that the so-called Epstein files are leftly created hoax.
I'm sorry, what was the last couple words of that?
Let's see. Claim that the so-called Epstein files are a lefty created hoax.
I don't think lefty's the right word there. All right.
That's how it's like lefty, maybe.
No, it's okay. Lefty created. All right. That's if that's where he wants to go with it, then why would he turn right back around and
so it is right?
No, now he's telling Pam Bondi. Yeah, that is right.
Okay.
Now he's telling Pam Bondi to release the files, release what she has. And yesterday he was calling people stupid for even asking about them.
Right. Like, what are we doing?
I don't know. It's impossible to keep up from day to day.
Yeah, it really is. Hey, this coming from CBS. CBS will end the Late Show with Stephen Colbert and retire the Late Show franchise in May 2026, the company announced Thursday.
That's a cost-cutting measure. The Late Show, Colbert was never the right fit there. I've always liked him. He was great on the Daily Show and then invented that Colbert character for the Colbert Report, but it never really translated over to the. And I don't know why. I don't know what it was that didn't translate, but it just didn't. So hopefully he's a talented guy, a funny guy. He'll go back to the drawing board and find a project that's just absolutely perfect for him. But here's the interesting part though. CBS is just going to step out of that game now. And I mean, so you just concede to the Tonight Show and to, what's the idiot? Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Kimmel's out too, huh? Yeah, I guess everything.
No, Kimmel's still there.
Kimmel, okay.
But if you're CBS, you're just pulling out of that game entirely.
Well, that's what I'm wondering if we'll see that next.
Whatever.
Could we? Hey, good news here. We're 1 week away from Shark Week.
So I guess Sunday technically is 1 week away, right? But this is our last show before being 1 week away.
That's it.
Coming up on it's either Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. We're gonna have one of the stars of Shark Week. Galante's the last name. I'm forgetting his first name right now. I have it on the calendar, but don't. I'm bricking on his first name right now. Dang it! Need my coffee.
Yeah, no problem. We'll have it next hour for sure.
Yeah, of course. 612 at Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. We are due up for our first break. When we come back from that break, we'll dive into sports. We got some info on Southern University football. And, of course, Dustin Poirier is going to be having his last fight, and he's coming home to do it. We'll talk about that next. Okay, there's a Dustin Poirier cut in your email that I need after you get the LRN cuts.
Okay. Yeah, I already got I got the LRN cuts for the next segment already. Also, we're back. We're on Facebook. Everything's so Poirier. Yep, got it. Okay, yep. Next cuts are good.
6:15, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Been talking all week long about the Southeastern Conference. Well, there is another football team in town. The Southern Jaguars are the preseason favorites to win the SWAC West in back-to-back years under second-year head coach Terrence Graves. Graves says he wanted to set a foundation of intensity and success in his first year as the Jags head coach.
I tell them all the time, once you lay the foundation, then you build that culture. You build your house. You don't build a house from roof down. You build a foundation up. So once we laid the foundation and those guys understood the foundation, bought in, that set the culture, set the tone for the culture.
Jaguars had 5 preseason all-SWAC selections. Tight end Dupree Fuller was the lone offensive selection. He's joined by defensive back Herman Brister on the second team, DB Horatio Johnson, linebacker Vincent Page, and you know what? This says CKELBY. I'm guessing that's Kelby Givens, received first-team honors. Givens was also named preseason defensive player of the year.
And he's a natural leader. He's a leader by example. He's a guy that he works hard every single day. You know, he works on being better every day. So that's why he's better every year, is because he doesn't take anything for granted.
Also in the state, also in the SWAC, Grambling was picked to finish 5th in the West under second-year head coach Mickey Joseph. The Tigers finished in that same position last year with a 5-7 record. Joseph says it takes time to rebuild, but he's got a sense of urgency there.
We got to remember that sometimes everything's not going to be built overnight, and that's just me not having enough patience. But I also understand that we have a national brand, and people expect a little bit more out of Grambling than other places, and I accept that.
As far as Southern University's schedule is concerned, they are kicking things off. Actually, it looks like August 23rd is going to be the SWAC MEAC Challenge, taking on North Carolina Central University over in Atlanta. Then they'll have Mississippi Valley State at Mississippi Valley State on August 30th. The Jags won't play at home until September 6th when Alabama State University comes into A.W. Mumford Stadium. They'll be on the road at Fresno State on September 13th, back home against Jackson State on September 27th. October 11th, they go to Bethune-Cookman. Homecoming will be against Prairie View on October 18th. October 25th is going to be another home game, this time welcoming in Florida A&M. On the road at Arkansas Pine Bluff on November 1st. And last 2 games of the season, you got November 8th against Alcorn State University. That's on the road. And then you bring it back home to take on Texas Southern on November 15th before, of course, the Bayou Classic wraps up the season on November 29th against Grambling. Dustin Poirier is going to be wrapping up his career tomorrow night in his home state in New Orleans for UFC 318. Poirier talks about the importance of rounding things out in his own backyard.
Man, I love it, man. This is my people. You know, like I've been saying all week, the love has been crazy. I feel it. It's real. I feel appreciated from the fans, from the company, from the state. Thank you all. It's a dream come true. This is a kid living his dream. It's a kid living his dream.
Tomorrow night, 9 p.m., I believe, is when the main event is. Poirier will be taking on Max Holloway. Poirier has fought in New Orleans one other time. He won that fight, but it was like a decade ago. Poirier, 36 years old. He's 39 and 0, 39 and 0, 0 draws. Meanwhile, Max Holloway is 26 and 8, 0 draws there as well. So that's big event tomorrow night. We'll talk about it a little bit more when Walt Leger comes on from New Orleans and Company at 7:35. Right now, we're coming up on 6:20 at Talk 107.3 FM. We will check the Fox Business Report on the back end of the Fox Business Report. You know what? Another quick little visit to SEC Media Days, but we're going to have some fun with Missouri's head coach. That's next on Talk 107.3. Galen says, I can tell you why Colbert was canceled. Same as Joy Reid. Audiences are tired of what they're selling. Constant, but it's not constant. It's really not. And it really, Colbert was rather centrist until Donald Trump came around. But if that's the case, then why is the View still on? No. See, but I get why Kalen says it's constant is because if he has one joke in his monologue, the joke gets repeated ad nauseum on Fox News. So that one joke, if you see that 50 times the next day, now that's the only thing that came out of his hour-long show.
It might not be Colbert himself. It just might be the way it's kind of regurgitated or the way it's shared.
Yeah. I mean, he definitely turned to the left when Trump came around.
Yeah.
And made fun of the left the entire 4 years that Joe Biden was there. But we don't ever see that. We don't see anybody get mad about that. But he made fun of Joe Biden pretty regularly as well.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to start off by heading out to Denham Springs, where I-12 westbound, as you get to Range Avenue, is basically stop and go right now. Once you're past Range Avenue, it clears up a good bit, but on the way into Range Avenue, it is very, very much stop and go from just after Jubin until you get to Range. Once you get past there, it's cleared up. Now, if you move over to Florida Boulevard, heavy volume on Florida Boulevard this morning coming into Baton Rouge from Denham Springs as well. I'm not showing why it's so heavy, but it is stacked up, to say the least. Aside from coming in from Livingston Parish, we're looking good. Everything coming in from Ascension Parish looks great, whether you're talking about 10, whether you're talking about Airline or 10 or Airline, we're looking good there. 10 eastbound coming in from West Baton Rouge looks great. I-110 is good as well, as are both bridges. And within the city, or within East Baton Rouge Parish, we have no accidents to report on your surface streets right now either. That's your look at traffic. Come on. 624 Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Before we get back into it, do need to remind you about the folks over at Mathern's. 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. 10 o'clock tomorrow morning will be the official ribbon cutting out at the Mathern's on Highland, just west of Kenilworth. It's Mathern's Market at Kenilworth is the official name here. Yes, they've been open for a good minute now, but they're doing it big. They have been all week this week, and tomorrow is the culmination of the whole thing. I'm hoping to be out there. Children's extracurricular schedules pending, but ribbon cutting is slated for 10 a.m. They're going to have all kind of deals, all kind of specials, all kind of swag, all kind of giveaways. So head on out to the Mathern's at Kenilworth. It's on Highland, just west of Kenilworth, tomorrow morning. SEC Media Days wrapped up yesterday, and Missouri was one of the teams that was there for the final day. Missouri's head coach, Eli Drinkwitz, not a whole lot to look forward to this year. If you're Missouri, you're going to be in the bottom third, bottom two, bottom three of the league. You're scheduled for the last day of SEC Media Days. A lot of folks have packed up and gone home already. As the days wear on, like everybody gets there at the beginning, and as the SEC Media Days wears on, once your team has gone, A lot of folks will pack up and go home. Our team from 104.5, they stay through till the end, right? But it's only a handful that actually do. Eli Drinkwitz yesterday decided to make the most of it and have a little fun.
I know there's a lot of burning questions in this room by the 14 of y'all that showed up. But just as a reminder, I'm not going to answer any questions about the Epstein files, whether about the radiation belt, and whether or not it was possible for Lee Harvey Oswald to get 3 shots off in 7 seconds. I don't have time to answer all those questions.
How about it? How about it, Eli Drinkwitz? Not really going for, the hard-hitting content of what his team has to offer this year. But when you're Missouri and you're not really projected to do a whole lot, why not go that route? And when you're on the last day of SEC Media Days, why not go that route? I mean, like you said, for the 14 people who showed up, the numbers do start to dwindle. So I kind of feel for him right there. I'm sorry, my website's just stuck right now, so I can't. You know what? We're going to have to move on from this because I can't get to the rest of the SEC stuff that I was going to talk about. Anyway, Mike Elko wrapped things up at the end of it. Texas A&M was the last to go. And one of the bigger takeaways from SEC Media Days was that a lot of folks were expecting a lot out of Texas A&M. I always feel like I'm the lone man on the hill when it comes to Texas A&M because they are every year who we thought they were. They're Texas 8-4. I was listening to Musso yesterday, filling in for Moscona over on AFR, and you had analyst after analyst, expert after expert, talking head after talking head, all mentioning that they believe Texas A&M would be the team to turn the corner this year, and maybe it's Musso and me, the only two on top of that hill saying, you got to show me first, pal. The links that Texas A&M went to last year to make sure they were 8-4 by the end of the regular season should tell you something. Oh, by the way, they lost 3 of their last 4 games. And the one that they won in their last 4 games was non-conference. So they lost their last 3 conference games. And then lost the bowl game as well. So SEC Media Days is in the books. I believe next week the Saints report to camp. The week after that, LSU will report to camp. So it is just about here, y'all. It is just about football season. So looking forward to that. We're at 628 at Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Do need to remind you about the folks over at Breck. Breck.org is your website where you can find everything that Breck has to offer. Whether you're talking about the facilities that they've got out there, the different parks, the Bluebonnet Swamp Nature Center, the Far Park Equestrian Center, the Highland Road Park Observatory, the Liberty Lagoon, whether you're talking about, Magnolia Mound is a great Breck property as well. Whether you're talking about all the facilities, all the parks, whether you're talking about their calendar of events, Breck's got you covered from start to finish. Love running down their calendar of events because there's always something going on for basically anyone of any age. Give you a perfect example. Independence Community Park this morning, you get the Busybodies class going on from 8:30 to 9:30. You got Commit to Be Fit at the North Sherwood Forest Community Park. That is from 9:30 to 10:30. You got pottery going on at the Sharp Road Park from 9:30 to 11. There's always something going on. And I know I like to run down the sports, but oftentimes the activities inside appeal to a number of folks as well. Learn more at Breck.org. We are officially done with whatever that was, Invest 93L, and we are back to the spot where there's no disturbances out there right now. Hurricane season is now more than a month and a half in, and we're still sitting on 3 named storms. The National Hurricane Center, the folks at Colorado State University, all scaling back their predictions overall for the season, but still saying it's going to be overall, it's going to be an above average season. They haven't let go of that part yet. But man, I would be surprised if they don't scale back those projections again within the next week or two. Especially because, you didn't go from 3 storms to 4 this week. And as of right now, there is no tropical cyclone activity expected during the next 7 days, which kind of means we're going to get to August and we're still stuck on C. So either it's going to be a super busy August and September, or a whole lot of folks overshot this. 6:30, let's talk about the Mid-Barataria sediment diversion next. Good morning, Christy. Stephen Colbert was a supporter of President Joe Biden. I watched Colbert. He made fun of him nightly. I I just physically. You know why I watch Colbert? Because he's not ashamed to be Catholic. He's not ashamed of his Catholicism. He's genuinely funny. He's a good writer too. But I watched him make fun of Joe Biden for 4 years. I have a recurring nightmare that I'm a guest on a View type show, but all the hosts are my exes. I'm sure Galen says solid line. Galen says, I'm sure your exes are smarter and kinder than the actual View hosts. Galen, you left off the concluding punchline, which is why they're your exes. But
There you go.
see, he had the one punch, but he didn't have the 1-2. Oh, the podcast that I thought I was recording yesterday, I'm actually recording today.
Oh, okay.
I really think audiences are turning their backs to the hyperbolic rhetoric. Most folks watch TV to escape their daily grind, and the hyperbole just is tiresome. I agree with that. Well, then why are Fox News' ratings so good? I mean, they're people are seeking that content out. I would like to watch entertainment television a lot more. You're on that front, yes. I don't want politics in my sitcoms. I don't want politics in my the hour-long procedural dramas. I don't want politics in my sports or my music. Byron's right there. Kimmel's the worst.
Oh.
The absolute worst about it.
Yeah.
Kimmel was a lot worse about it. Is still a lot worse about it than Colbert. Colbert's funny and would take jabs.
Yeah.
Kimmel is constantly virtue signaling. 637, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. You heard that story in news right there. Man, disappointing taking the L on the Mid-Barataria sediment diversion. The number of years and the amount of research that went into prepping for this project, the number of scientists, the number of environmentalists, the number of everything that stacked up towards saying the Mid-Barataria sediment diversion was going to be an absolute game changer, all gets flushed down the toilet by politics. Louisiana Radio Network had the story right there, saying it was widely expected for a while, but it's now official. The Mid-Barataria Sediment Diversion Project is canceled, replacing the $3 billion coastal restoration project with a smaller scale version. Charles Sutcliffe with the National Wildlife Federation, who they spoke to, they said he's disappointed with the decision.
A generation of experts have scrutinized this project from every angle, and a generation of people living along the coast have trusted that the state is making decisions about the future in a principled way, and we found out that that's no longer the case.
I tend to defer my opinion on things like this to people who know more than I do. And after Hurricane Ida, I got to hop on a helicopter and fly down to the coast to see, what the damage was, and by Fouchon and Grand Isle and whatnot. And I was riding on that helicopter with a couple guys who work in this business in Jefferson Parish. And the entire flight down there and the entire flight back, while they're assessing damage and looking at what was and what wasn't, they couldn't shut up about the Mid-Barataria sediment diversion, talking about what effects it would have. Is like, you see what you're looking at right now? Once the Mid-Barataria sediment diversion kicks in, that's going to look completely different. That's going to be a different, post-hurricane view and whatnot. And this is something that they do day in and day out. This is their living. This is how they earn and put, food on their table for their family. And this is what they are experts in. So I will oftentimes step aside and say, you know what? I don't know everything. I'm going to listen to someone who knows more than me in this regard. And I think we have a lack of that overall. Now, last November, Governor Landry testified in opposition to the project before the Senate Transportation Committee. He said the project was destroying certain aspects of Louisiana's culture.
It destroys the shrimping industry, which is already struggling. It destroys the oyster beds. And the government says, no worries, we're going to pay you not to shrimp. We are going to pay you not to oyster fish.
The shrimping industry is out in the Gulf, right? Or at least I thought. And when it comes to the oyster beds, yes, there was going to be a temporary disruption to that, but the oyster beds would move further out. You would have to pick up the cost to subsidize the oyster fishermen a little bit. That one is a given. But the trade-off here for what we get out of it was going to be so great, that on the balance sheet, it was a winner. Sutcliffe says what's especially disappointing about the cancellation is all the money that's already been invested in the project up to this point.
At least $618 million was invested in this project that's now going to go towards nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And that by itself would be the largest coastal investment in a restoration project by the state of Louisiana.
Now, when talking about the money, where is it coming from? A big chunk of it was coming from back in 2010 with the Deepwater Horizon settlement. Governor Landry says continuing the project would cost money that the state simply doesn't have.
Everything above $2.9 billion is on our dime. And this is one project in one area that will start, in my belief, to begin to soak up the resources that we need across the whole coast.
Everything above $2.9 billion for a $3 billion project. Let me reset the clock here because this is a topic that I've talked about a lot. So I want to make sure that we're covering everything. If you don't know what the Mid-Barataria Sediment Diversion Project is or was going to be, State Representative Joseph Ogeron was on the show. This is, 2 months ago, 3 months? It was about the beginning of the legislative session. And we dug in, and I asked him to give the full reset of what the project is. This is a long cut, probably close to 2 minutes, but here's your full description.
All right, let's start 10,000 years ago, whenever the only land in the Gulf of America pretty much was at Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
And this thing called the Mississippi River started splaying dirt like a fire hose across southern Louisiana. So basically every bit of land that we have south of Baton Rouge is basically nothing but alluvial deposition, riverine. I mean, it's basically the dirt from the river that laid over itself.
Yep.
So if we fast forward all the way to about 100 years ago, 1927, people had settled here, didn't like the fact that during the springtime the Mississippi River flooded over, but they were not realizing that it was still building Louisiana at the time. But we got to tame the mighty Mississippi for commerce, for everything else, fully understood. And whenever we finally did it in 1927, it was really like putting a tight tourniquet right on your upper thigh. And look, we got it under control. But basically what happens is what I call estuarial necrosis, the wetlands, what was is the sportsman's paradise of Louisiana. All the wetlands, the incubator, marsh area for redfish, speckled trout, white shrimp, brown shrimp, everything that grows in the marsh, basically all of a sudden gets cut off from its lifeline, from its blood source. So just like the tourniquet on your thigh, basically you see your foot turn blue, then your toes turn gangrene, and basically as you're amputating parts of your foot off, that's what you see whenever you pass over the Leeville Bridge in my area down to Grand Isle. You see the marsh disappearing year after year, and that's basically what happens. Mid-Barataria Sediment Diversion is a 25-year, most intensely studied project to basically, in a controlled manner, reconnect that lifeline, that Mississippi River life-giving blood, that fresh water, the sediment-rich water flow into that basin to regrow that wetlands, reestablish the ecological balance that really is what made the sportsman's paradise. I hope that should kind of set up a little bit of a framework of understanding what we're talking about.
Okay. Reestablish that ecological balance. And that estuarial necrosis part of this, cutting off the oxygen, cutting off the lifeblood, those are all big things. But there's another part to this, and that's the hurricane protection part.
Very much so. I mean, since Hurricane Katrina, that was the catalyst that basically caused Louisiana to say, whoa, we got regional solutions all over the place. We need one master plan for all of coastal Louisiana. Put politics aside, and over 4 governors, 2 Democrats and 2 Republicans, basically we had a CPRA master plan that basically used every tool in the toolbox. Mm-hmm. So you start out at the Gulf with barrier island restoration, back marsh creation, shoreline stabilization, levees, floodgates, all the tools in the box, pump and dump land bridges, which are all important, all part of the CPRA's master plan. Mm-hmm. But look, it's all of those things that I said, I equate scientifically to basically rebuilding the skeleton, rebuilding the toes, the bones in the feet, in the toes. You gotta let Mother Nature be reconnected to put the meat on the bones. She's the one that does that ecological adding. And so, basically what we got now is we have an administration that's basically saying, we're just going to take out that one tool that put the meat on the bone tool, that reconnection to the river. We're going to take that one out. And really, I know you said there's a lot of cheerleaders, but there's really one politically loud anti-cheerleader, and that's the oyster industry, unfortunately. And I'm gonna even refine that a little further. The on-bottom oyster industry, so the normal traditional harvest oysters from the bottom, the seafloor, not the seafloor, but the marshy area. So as the marshy roads, it makes more open water space, more basically you could say farmland for the oyster industry. And they're the primary opponents of this particular project. They're the ones that basically threw the wrench in the gearbox, and then it just became better facilitated by the new administration to let that wrench basically clog up the gears and put the project on unsteady ground.
The only thing more frustrating than the fact that this state does study after study after study is the fact that we flush the results of that study down the drain. Just that's infinitely frustrating. 41,000 dump trucks worth of sediment comes down that Mississippi River daily. 41,000 dump trucks worth. I don't know that smaller projects will get the job done. I don't know if breaking this down into smaller pieces gets the job done. But that's what we've got to work with now. Hopefully all the science that went into this can just sit on a shelf till political winds blow in a different direction. But that's where we're at right now. Quick break. We have Karen Travers from ABC News. We're going to talk about the Epstein files and just genuinely what the hell next. Oh yeah. So okay, you're right, Galen. It's the same with the Amite River Basin and how I get the comparison now. Is they're both a matter of we had a great idea, we put all the science into it. When it came time to execute it, dollars would get rerouted into other places. Things would fall through the cracks. So yeah, and what we're looking at today is we're getting close to having the Comey Diversion Canal done. But we're not there yet. I'm gonna get Paul Sawyer back on about that. But yeah, here we are 40, 50 years later, and that one project, the Comey Diversion's not even done, you know? And now we don't even have a congressman who gives a crap about it. And there's another part to this that I probably shouldn't talk about because I don't have any information. This is all just hearsay, okay? I'm curious how much of Governor Landry's stance against the Mid-Barataria sediment diversion is not a political trade-off for someone not to have run for governor 2 years ago. The biggest opponent to the Mid-Barataria sediment diversion a couple years ago was Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser. So, why didn't Billy run for governor? Is it possible that he was given this as a promise? I don't know. That's all speculation, irresponsible speculation, but speculation nonetheless. We got Karen there? Awesome. Yeah. This isn't supposed to be a 30-second spot. I hate that it eats up. Yeah. It's gotten way out of hand. 6:51, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, running just a little bit behind schedule here, so let's dive right back into it. Are we to understand now that the Epstein files are to be released? The files that a couple days ago we were told didn't exist, but the same files that, well, we've been hearing about on and off for years. ABC News' White House correspondent Karen Travers is on with us. Karen, good morning. How are you?
Good morning to you.
Help me make sense of this whole story, please.
So the president last night ordered the attorney general to release grand jury testimony, or to seek the release of grand jury testimony, subject to court approval. The attorney general, Pam Bondi, responded on social media and said that they're ready to move to court today to unseal the grand jury transcripts. This is part of the administration, the president's efforts to push back on this incredible backlash he's been getting from some of his own supporters over their handling of the release of information and the investigation into Jeffrey Epstein. But here's an important thing to note. This can be a very lengthy process, and it's not even clear it would result in the release of grand jury testimony because it requires approval of a federal judge in the Southern District of New York. They have to look at the impact on victims, and so that could take a while. The other important part of this is that it is not clear it would even be enough to satisfy the critics right now, including, again, many of the president's top supporters who have been demanding the release of the full FBI files on Jeffrey Epstein. That is not what the president called for last night. That is not what he ordered the attorney general to release.
Okay, so important clarification right there. The alleged client list, all the files and everything, that is not the same as grand jury testimony or transcripts from a grand jury. In fact, quite the opposite. It's just people talking about what possibly was over there?
Potentially, but again, we don't know what we don't know
Right.
because grand jury testimony is sealed, so it's not clear what is in that, but that is not the files that the Justice Department has that had gone under that review that they had promised to release earlier this year. The Attorney General had said that they would do that. Then over the 4th of July weekend, the Justice Department and the FBI said they wouldn't be releasing any more information, and that has started this kind of growing backlash since then over the last 2 weeks from, again, some of the president's supporters saying that they're not being transparent as they had promised to be.
How is this anywhere close to what was promised on the campaign trail to begin with? I mean, haven't we been hearing about releasing these files for years?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the president had said that. Some of the people he has appointed to top positions, like the FBI director, the deputy FBI director, had also questioned the investigation, questioned the transparency on this. And so notable, these people are in high positions. And now, again, information is not coming out, but I can just tell you what they have said on this. And they had said last week that they are not releasing any more information. That, again, has not stopped the pushback. And we'll see if what the president said last night will satisfy anybody. But it also is going to take a while. So it's not like it's going to quickly make that pushback go away.
I think anything short of an actual client list is not going to be satisfactory for those who have been calling for this for so long. Is this being perceived as just misdirection?
That's not for me to answer.
You're right. That wasn't a fair question for a reporter.
No, that's okay. I think, I think you'd have to look and see how some of the people maybe are responding to this on social media. The White House wouldn't say that. They'll say, well, this is a step towards some transparency. Also yesterday, the White House said that the president would not recommend a special prosecutor in this. That was notable because the president for days has now been calling this whole thing a hoax, saying people have been duped by this. And so, logical question is, well, if it's a hoax, wouldn't you want this to be investigated? The White House, though, said yesterday he would not recommend appointing a special counsel to investigate this.
Got just a minute or so left with Karen Travers from ABC News. And yeah, if it's a hoax that he ran on. I mean, I can't be untold everything that I was told. The likelihood that this grand jury testimony or the effort for grand jury transcripts, the likelihood that this sees the light of day, is there a way to handicap that right now, or is it still too soon?
I think it's still too soon. And our people who've covered this very closely over the last several years and covering the actual investigation into Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, again, I think the important thing is, you don't know what you don't know because all of that is sealed. and it's not clear how long that process would be because it's not understood about this point about the impact potentially on victims. There's obviously a sensitivity to that of releasing any of that kind of information.
She is ABC News' White House correspondent, Karen Travers. I appreciate you giving us a little bit of clarity, or as much as there is that's out there right now.
As much as we can.
Yeah,
thank you.
Absolutely. Not the same thing. Client list and files is not the same thing as people talking about a potential client list and files. Where are you at on all this? Are you clocked out on it at this point? Let us know. We are live on Facebook every single day, courtesy of the folks over at Lake Urgent Care. Are you clocked out, or do you want answers here? Was this a part of your motivation in the voting booth last year? Let me know. Hop into the chat over there on Facebook Live. I would love some feedback on this as we make our way towards the break. Yeah, we don't talk national politics very often, but this is a topic that's so big and so heinous, villainous, potentially. So are you done? Are you off it? Or the follow-up question, what would it, just like Karen Travers was talking about, what would it take to satisfy you on this front? What do you need to see to close this book? Even Donald Trump Jr. is calling for full transparency. That won't make for an awkward Thanksgiving at all. Hey, before we hit up news here at the top of the hour, I do need to take note of what Karen said right there when she said she couldn't give. Shout out to any national news reporter who is staying 100% objective. That was awesome. That was kind of cool. Objectivity. That's all you can ask for. You know, in baseball, you want an umpire that calls them both ways. Balls and strikes, balls and strikes. You want the same strike zone for both teams. So good on her for ducking that question. Not ducking, but straight up saying, not for me to say. Right. We got ABC News. Speaking of, we got ABC News coming up in just a little bit. I'm sure you're going to hear from Karen one more time, less than a minute from right now. Do need to remind you about the Louisiana Beef Industry Council. They bring you Foodie Friday every single Friday. Today, we got small sliders going to be in the house. Small sliders. Cannot wait. I can't wait. Bring in the beef, baby. And they do it right, too. They smash the patty down. They do the salt and pepper. We'll go through the whole process later on. Share a couple of tips, tricks, hacks. That's the whole point of Foodie Friday right here, is to up your grill game. And the Louisiana Beef Industry Council wants to do that all grilling season long. That's why they bring you the segment. In the meanwhile, if you want some recipes, want to learn about the nutritional facts, beef, it's what's for dinner.com. Beef, it's what's for dinner.com. What is the role of the mayor's office in Plan Baton Rouge Phase 3? We'll talk with Chief Administrative Officer Charlie Davis after we check our top stories and trending, which is coming up after we check news, traffic, and weather, which is coming your way right now. ABC News is on the way on Talk 107.3 FM. I have to go run across the hall real quick, y'all. I shall return shortly. need to find a way to get access to the drinks to put in that fridge without just leaving them out there. Because if you leave drinks in that fridge, they're going to get drank by whomever. They're meant for guests, but you can't have it stocked all the time or you're just going to blow through drinks.
Right.
But I've got guests coming in today that, like, I would like to, hey, do you want a water?
Right.
But I can't do that because I can't get to any other waters.
Oh, man.
Why won't this let me like Sean's post? Oh, maybe it's because he deleted the post. No.
Oh, yeah, that could be the case, too.
Galen cites a CNN poll that says only 1% listed the Epstein case as the nation's top issue. It's not the top issue, but it's an issue. That guy says I couldn't care less. I'm hanging on to it because I want to know when I'm facing evil. And if there's a list of people that I can classify as evil, I would like to know who's on that list. 7:05, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Hour 2 coming your way right now. Brian here with you, John LaBeouf producing, getting you ready for a busy hour. We're going to talk about Plan Baton Rouge Phase 3 from the perspective of the mayor's office. Chief Administrative Officer Charlie Davis going to join us in our next segment. Also going to check in down in New Orleans before Dustin Poirier fights this weekend. Walt Leger from New Orleans and Company going to join us at 7:35. Right now, though, we start off your second hour with top stories and trending.
Number 5.
Catholic Charities of Baton Rouge collected donations on South Acadian Thruway for victims of the Central Texas floods that happened over the July 4th weekend. They picked up Walmart and Visa gift cards as well as monetary donations. They're bringing them out to the Catholic Charities of San Antonio so that victims can receive the donations directly. Officials said they have seen overwhelming support for those in need.
Number 4.
Governor Jeff Landry and other prominent Louisiana conservatives are criticizing Baton Rouge's library system after a former employee said he was fired because he refused to use someone's preferred gender pronouns. Luke Ash said he was let go from the library on July 10th for doing exactly that.
Number 3.
The state has officially canceled the Mid-Barataria sediment diversion, Louisiana's biggest ever coastal restoration project, and moved to replace it with a smaller scale version, accompanied with some other elements. The announcement had been widely anticipated, but remained a major development considering the years of study, the amount of expertise, and the overwhelming support that had gone into the unprecedented $3 billion project.
Number 2.
$2.9 billion of which was covered. The Louisiana State Bond Commission has approved all 3 ballot measures that make up Thrive EBR, a parish-wide initiative aimed at reinvesting in East Baton Rouge Parish without raising taxes. Thrive EBR brings together the East Baton Rouge Library System, the Council on Aging, mosquito abatement, and the city parish in order to tackle the parish's most pressing needs. This will be on your ballot this November.
Number 1.
We've got a clear board when it comes to the tropics right now. There are no disturbances. There are no projections of disturbances. There are no yellow, orange, nor red X's for the next, or there's nothing projected for the next 7 days when it comes to hurricane season. So that's a good no news is good news.
Well, Elon Musk is on a posting spree to discredit President Donald Trump's claim that the so-called Epstein files are a lefty-created hoax.
He's not the only one.
Yeah.
You know who's on this case right now is James O'Keefe. Remember James O'Keefe? He's this investigative reporter. He's the one that pulls out all the gotcha videos every so often, the hidden camera videos and whatnot. Apparently, he's got Pam Bondi on camera saying there's tens and thousands of videos that are very, very incriminating on this front. So, I don't know. We'll see where it goes. We heard from Karen Travers last hour. There's not much there right now.
That's right. Hey, CBS will end the Late Show with Stephen Colbert and retire the Late Show franchise in May of 2026, the company announced yesterday.
Curious to see if they're going to get back in this game eventually. One of the topics of discussion over on the chat on Facebook Live, they got the glorified crews running at it this morning, and we're getting tired of the political rhetoric entering the entertainment world. I want to tune out. I want to zone out. I want to just enjoy life for a minute. I want Don Rickles busting Johnny Carson's balls for a little while.
Isn't that what it's about, right?
Right. I want humor. I want anecdotes. I want stories. I don't need political diatribes when I'm trying to end my evening.
Yep.
So are we going to see a move away from that overall? And if so, is ABC going to follow and ditch Kimmel? Because Kimmel's worse about that than Colbert ever was.
Yeah.
Colbert would make fun. Colbert would make jokes. Kimmel is a full-on virtue signal. So,
yeah, and we can only see what's going to happen next. Time will tell for sure. Hey, we're 1 week away from Shark Week, so that's something a little less political, huh?
Yes, and I was supposed to get you the name of the Shark Week star who's going to be on with us next week. Let me pull that up right now since I do have my internet again.
All right, yeah.
Forrest Galante.
Forrest Galante, okay.
Forrest Galante is going to be featured in Shark Week specials, Alien Sharks, Death Down Under, and Florida's Death Beach.
Now we're talking.
So, yeah, Shark Week's not overhyping this at all, right?
No.
Death Down Under and Death Beach. He's been on the show before. He's a wildlife biologist. He actually knows his stuff pretty well. So three different shows he's going to be on this Shark Week. So Forrest is going to be a busy guy. He'll hop on with us, I believe, next Wednesday.
Yeah, looking forward to that. That's going to be great.
When's July 23rd? That's when I'm recording it. So
okay. So yeah, you're looking at Wednesday.
Wednesday to record for Thursday playback. All right. Probably we might have to play that one back twice. I'm a big Shark Week guy.
Yeah.
Big Shark Week guy. So
not opposed to it. Yeah, that'd be great.
Looking forward to that greatly. 7-Eleven at Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. We are due up for a quick break. Do need to remind you about the folks over at NeuroJust. If you are suffering from anxiety and depression or have a family member who is suffering from anxiety and depression, if you have tried the prescription pills route and it just didn't work for you, maybe there was diminishing returns on the effectiveness of the prescription. Maybe there were side effects you didn't like. Maybe you were worried about the possibility of the addictive nature. Nothing wrong with sitting down and talking with a therapist. Nothing wrong with hopping on a prescription. But if that wasn't for you, let me tell you about the folks over at NeuroJust. They specialize in a treatment called TMS, transcranial magnetic stimulation. It's FDA approved, completely safe, no side effects because it's not invasive. There's nothing going inside of you, so there's no side effects to go along with it. Basically what it is, if you feel like your mind is constantly these choppy 6 to 10 foot waves, this overwhelming constant fight or flight in your mind, this dials it all down. If you want to learn more, check out neurojust.com, NEUROJUST, neurojust.com to learn more. We are due up for a quick break. When we come back, we got Charlie Davis from the mayor's office next. Always. Oh no, that's supposed to be my clock, and that's supposed to be monitoring WBRZ's morning news. They don't work. So we have a chief engineer, Bo Wegman, who's amazing, but he's our only engineer, so he's just trying to keep stations on the air. You know, it is. Get him here because Bo needs the help. 7:15 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Night before last was out at the old state capitol for the second public meeting of Plan Baton Rouge Phase 3. At that meeting was the chief administrative officer for the mayor's office. That would be Charlie Davis. Gave a nice little talk about what it means, what revamping downtown means, where we were, where we are, and where we can be. And he joins us right now. How are you, man?
Hey, Brian. Great to see you again, buddy.
Well, I've seen
Always
you
a pleasure.
everywhere now, right? I mean,
Rougarou, downtown Baton Rouge. You are a man about town.
Well, I mean, you're there too, so obviously, as are you.
I guess both of our wives are kicking us out of the house and sending us on our way.
I think I would just say enjoying the downtime. That's we got a lot on our plate with Plan Baton Rouge Phase 3. I want to start with a little bit of recapping what you had to say on Wednesday evening, because you talk about the role of downtown over the years. It's been a different thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's been the downtowns. I mean, we're not in the 40s and 50s anymore where it was, the department stores and the big signs.
Sure.
We're not in the 60s anymore where you had to sit in at Crest. We're not in those dark days either of like the 90s where downtown was vacant. It was like the town that dreaded sundown. It's been this evolution, and the evolution continues. Walk me through a little bit about what you had to say the other day and how that it relates to your experience.
Yeah, I guess I was talking about a couple things. First of all, the nadir, the low point of downtown was probably, the mid to late 80s, maybe the early 90s, and it's really been on a slow renaissance.
Yeah.
But it's been a slow renaissance, right? And so the first thing I think is important to remember is downtown is not just about downtown. It's a catalyst for the entire city parish, for the entire arena, for the entire area, right? Just like everything about Baton Rouge, it sort of eventually goes back to the Mississippi River. It sort of dictates the flow of the city from day one, right?
Yes.
So a healthy downtown Baton Rouge is just not for the people who live downtown or work downtown. It's for everybody. And one thing that I started thinking about recently is sort of as I've gotten older, the different ways I've used downtown.
Right.
As a dad, I take my kids to the museums and to the symphony, to the levees. But when I was a kid, I spent the night in the USS Kidd. Downtown doesn't just evolve independently; it also evolves as we go through different life cycles and benefit in different ways from having a really healthy downtown. And so, one of the most important things to coach, to Mayor Sid Edwards, is making Baton Rouge safe and clean. Right?
Mhm.
He campaigned on it. He talks about it. He's consistent. He's like, we need to have the safest and cleanest city on the Mississippi River. And having a healthy downtown is a big part of the entire city parish thriving.
Are we safe?
I think you probably know this, but maybe all your listeners don't. In the last 6 months, just about every crime statistic we track is down.
Yeah.
Probably most importantly, violent crime is down 19%. So let's say that again, almost 20% violent crime reduction in Baton Rouge just in the last 6 months. And that is incredible.
Okay, but let's take that a step further and say, yes, violent crime is down. What's the crime like in downtown? Because everybody who lives in Baton Rouge, we all know that crime can come in pockets.
Sure. Downtown Baton Rouge is one of the safest precincts in the entire city parish. Like it is probably the safest place you can be.
And when you have a blip on that radar, it garners more headlines, and then you run into the problem of being safe versus the perception of being safe become two different things.
Exactly.
I know I hate to repeat it, but I will. There was a shooting at the Christmas parade downtown last year.
Yeah.
That was the first time in, I want to say, 14 years that we saw an incident like that from, was it 2007, 2008, maybe 2009. I'm trying to remember when they had the shooting on the levee after the fireworks. Now, similarities here. Both of them happened after the event was passed.
Sure.
The Christmas parade had already passed right there. The parade wasn't over, but that portion of it was. Just like also many years ago, the fireworks show was over with and everybody was on their way home. But it's amazing how you would hear, oh, I'm not going downtown for the fireworks because of the shooting. Dude, that was like a million years ago. So the perception remains longer than the actual any actual event.
Yeah. The perception is more powerful than reality when it comes to some of these situations. But the critical thing to remember is downtown is one of, if not the safest parts of the entire city parish, safest precinct. And violent crime is down 19% just in the last 6 months. So we are on our way to seeing a safer and cleaner Baton Rouge. We're picking up more woody waste. We've picked up 1,000 tires. Like we are really tackling the big, significant problems that Baton Rouge has. And Plan Baton Rouge 3 is part of that process, right? This is about a year-long effort to plan and imagine and dream what Baton Rouge could look like. What do we want to see on the river? How do we better utilize the scarce resources that the city parish has been blessed with?
Does the mayor's office have a take on this, or is it sit back and listen?
I think it's both. I think one of the things that the mayor does great is listen. I'm not sure how much time you spent with him, but if you're in a meeting with the mayor or talking to him yesterday or 20 years ago, that dude has got a mind that remembers everything. I mean, he is constantly interacting with people he's coached for the last 20 years, remembers their name, remembers their position, remembers their nickname sometimes. I mean, it's a bit eerie. So he is a phenomenal listener. So part of our job is to listen, but part of our job is to respond to the ideas and then to lead. The mayor's been very clear in what he wants to see. And we all know to see an incredible, thriving city parish, we have to have a thriving downtown, which means momentum, right? People moving downtown, living downtown, working downtown, eating downtown, playing downtown, right?
Yeah.
Those are obvious goals we have to set for ourselves and capitalize on.
The one of the bigger parts of Plan Baton Rouge Phase 3 that I really like is not just the revamp of downtown, but the connectivity here.
Yeah.
Stretching downtown on the LSU side to
Sure.
walk that Nicholson corridor a good bit, but more importantly on the other side, stretching it out to Memorial Stadium and that area right there to revamp that into a bigger sports complex, because that to me that's the gateway to so much more, because that's the foot of Plank Road.
Yeah.
That's that you're when you expand downtown's reach, you broaden out that level of safety that you have downtown. You broaden that out to start to walk it to other parts of the city.
Yeah. You've probably already seen we started lighting Plank Road. We've started lighting downtown Baton Rouge. We started lighting other areas. A safer, cleaner city is also well lit at night. So that may seem like a small thing. We pick up an extra 100 tires, an extra 1,000 tires, or put out another 100 light bulbs. But those things really add up and compound themselves over time to make a real difference.
It's amazing what a difference it makes with the lighting specifically.
Yeah.
Goodwood just got relit.
Yeah.
And I take Goodwood before the sun comes up in the morning. I'm on Goodwood.
I bet you do.
I'm on Goodwood at 4:30 in the morning, and I got to tell you, it is glorious how bright it is. So my morning commute doesn't include Plank, but I would imagine if it's the same lighting, it's doing good.
Yeah, we're working. Our office is working closely with Energy
Mhm.
to repair and improve the lighting across the entire city parish.
Mhm.
It's a big process.
Yeah.
There's tons and tons of roads out there that need refreshed lighting, but it makes a big difference for the citizens.
All right, let's bring it back around to Plan Baton Rouge Phase 3. A number of ideas were tossed out there. Is y'all's job at all to kind of, I don't want to say be a referee along the way or make a call of what's feasible, what's not feasible? How do you fit your role in here?
I think being a referee is a good analogy. We also have to be the adult in the room.
Yeah.
You know, you hire a bunch of really smart consultants, which is exactly what we've done. And before you know it, they've spent $5 to $10 billion.
Right.
You know?
Meanwhile, come November, we're going to have Thrive EBR on our ballot because money is not infinite.
Yeah, exactly. So money is obviously not infinite, but it's time to start lowering taxes in Baton Rouge, right? One of the challenges we have is we tend to overtax ourselves because we're building all these dedicated funds. And so the city and the state tends to sit on tens of millions, then hundreds of millions, and then billions of dollars that it's overtaxed its citizens, but it can't spend those dollars on key priorities like more infrastructure, roads, drainage, public safety, right?
Mhm.
Because they're all stuck in different boxes. And so Thrive is an incredible partnership between some of the biggest independent agencies in the city parish and the city parish to be better stewards of the taxpayers' dollars. So if Thrive passes, and we hope all your listeners will support it, what you'll begin to see is the beginning of flattening and then lowering the taxes, and at the same time, increasing the goods and services that you're getting for your tax dollars.
All right, so I'm going to bring this back around. I should not have opened the box. I should not have given you an opening to talk about Thrive. We'll get to that at another point.
I thought you were giving me a layup.
That was not a layup. No, we were talking Plan Baton Rouge Phase 3, but I think to bring it back around to Plan Baton Rouge Phase 3 to kind of follow up on your point is that once our dollars can become more flexible, we require fewer of them.
I wish you'd say that over and over again every day on the radio, Brian, because you need optionality. Families need optionality, companies, organizations, and the government does, right?
Mhm.
You can't decide a tax rate 50 years ago and then be surprised 50 years in the future that you're way off target, right? To get any route takes the constant degrees of checking and recalibrating the path that you're on. And so we can lower the taxes if we give ourselves more optionality on how to spend our dollars. Otherwise, we're just going to keep piling up hundreds of millions of dollars in the bank and then complaining about the traffic jams.
So another way to generate more revenue is to widen out that tax base, and that's to bring in more residents, bring in more jobs. What kind of effort is going to be put forth on that front when it comes to Plan Baton Rouge Phase 3?
I think we have to all stay in our lanes. Plan Baton Rouge 3 can't solve all the problems, right? But it does begin to set an example of what's possible for downtown Baton Rouge when people really come together and work together and cast vision about where we can be. I mean, we'll be building things the next 3 to 5 years that our kids and grandkids and their grandkids will enjoy. We have to think about being stewards, not just for today, but for tomorrow. I know that's a bit of a cliche, but when you're building, large infrastructure projects or even buildings like the Shaw Center, these are designed to last for decades.
Right.
And make an incredible effort. I mean, on a personal level, my kids have been blessed to play a number of piano concerts inside the Shaw Center. And it is an incredible facility that young people can use on a regular basis. And it's just an incredible facility to watch a performance.
I think one of the bigger pieces here, when you talk about the part of this that revamps the River Center, bring in the host hotel part of this, expand out the space a good bit, that would generate more tourism revenue. We're seeing it right now with the bowlers in town.
Yeah.
Just shy of $200 million worth of revenue brought into town from one elongated event.
Yeah, one giant 6-month, and we call it the Bowling Congress, but you're talking about the largest international competitive bowling event probably in the world.
Yeah.
Right. And so the steady stream of bowlers that have come through downtown Baton Rouge have made a huge difference for every restaurant and every hotel in the area, not just downtown, but across the entire city parish. So you can imagine we're also working to bring more cruise ships downtown to Baton Rouge. Tourism is a major factor from an economic development perspective for our area. We have amazing food. We have amazing culture. We have an incredible football and baseball league. So this is a town that knows how to work hard, but it's also a town that knows how to play hard. It's a place that people want to come to. And so the job of the city, the government, is not just to do more with less. It's to be focused, right? We can be good stewards and make a big difference by focusing on the things that we can do. And that means making Baton Rouge a safe, clean, incredible city where people want to come, want to live. If you do that, they'll show up. Entrepreneurs will come. They'll launch new businesses. They'll open new restaurants, right? You're already seeing the Hyundai plant coming in. There's some incredible economic development projects that are happening now, and it probably will be happening in the foreseeable future.
Well, and I mean, Hyundai's going to be just down the river, for sure. What I'm looking for here is the next IBM, the next one to move into downtown.
Yeah.
How do we replicate that? Or how do we take the next, superstar in Baton Rouge and help them scale up, but in a downtown building?
It all works together, and even though the Hyundai plant won't be obviously in Baton Rouge proper,
Greater Baton Rouge area.
Yeah, but their executives want to live in downtown Baton Rouge. They're going to go to school in Baton Rouge, right? They're going to go to LSU football games, LSU baseball games. Like the entire city parish it's like an organism, right? We're all different parts of the same body.
Okay. Let's get anecdotal here, all right? Completely just throw out everything else. Throw out any notes. Forget you're the CAO for a minute, okay? What do you want to see downtown? What would you do? Let's say the riverfront specifically.
Sure.
What would you do on the riverfront?
Personally, I feel like the river is the most magical and underutilized part of downtown Baton Rouge.
Mhm.
I've been fortunate to do lots of traveling, in my life. I think I've probably been to 47 or 48 states. And so I love looking at what different cities and states have done with riverfronts.
Mhm.
And there's something calming about water, right? Whether it's False River, whether it's the Gulf, whether it's the Mississippi River, that people are attracted to. And so I think investing our dollars and our time, our talent, and treasure around an incredible experience that involves the Mississippi River is something that could really set Baton Rouge apart from any other city in the area.
Okay. I'm going to give you my idea here. You ready? And I know I get made fun of in the chat every time I bring it up. But I'm going to keep bringing it up because there's comps here that I think are worthwhile. I want to bring back Fun Fair Park, but put it on the levee.
Put Fun Fair Park on the levee.
Put Fun Fair Park. It would take a little building out. It would take a boardwalk or, a little bit of infrastructure underneath it to be sure. But you can't tell me. You look at the Navy Pier in Chicago, Steel Pier in Atlantic City. Other cities have done this. In fact, the other night at the meeting, somebody suggested
a Ferris wheel.
And about half
I knew
a
we were
dozen people,
going.
Everybody
thought
looked
it was
at me.
you.
They thought it was me. And I'm like, no, that wasn't me. But I'm glad to hear somebody else is on board.
Yeah.
But you give me something like that on the riverfront, and then now you got a place. If you got families bringing their kids, now all the food trucks are going to round up over there as well.
Yeah.
And you're talking about one thing spurring other things if you can bring people together in one spot.
Are you talking about a giant 107.3 sponsored Ferris wheel down on the river?
Absolutely.
There you go.
Absolutely. Just Moon Griffon's face on every chair as it goes around, just a rotating moon.
Yeah, that might scare some people off.
Well, we'll put it on the Port Allen side.
There you go.
He is Charlie Davis, Chief Administrative Officer for Mayor President Sid Edwards' office. Thrive EBR. We'll bring you back on very soon to start talking about that because breaking that down is going to be important as well.
Yeah, passed the council unanimously, the bond commission unanimously. I think it's a project that's well on its way to being successful.
Here comes news. There it is.
Fun Fair Park. That's a good idea.
Somebody find the wild mouse. I want it out there. It doesn't have to be a Ferris wheel, a smaller roller coaster.
I think, you were there at the meeting. I think family-friendly, fun attractions were a big part of what you're going to see downtown.
I know, but I think we're going to downgrade it to something that nobody's going to bother going to.
Well, that would be
Because that's what we do in Baton Rouge.
Yeah. Let's do the opposite.
We never dream big around here. I would like to. So.
Good deal, man.
Yep.
How's your going?
Going well. The RV trip is coming up a week from today.
Yes, sir. Oh, to college?
No, that's after that. That's the next Friday.
Okay.
Was doing a bit about an RV trip that went wrong, and I did this whole I think every guy has a little bit of that John Steinbeck in him that wants to travel America and be up close and personal with everything the nation has to offer. Blah blah blah. But I also don't want to be Cousin Eddie. So the owner of Miller's RV tracked me down and said, "I want you to be an RV for affordable." So that's our family vacation this year, where we're going to go to some adventure RV park in Robert, Louisiana, and then up to Bogan State Park.
That's great. These guys sponsoring your vacation?
Louisiana Travel Association. I'm a radio guy. I'm a sell sponsorship. So
I'll tell you, driving up here, I heard you talking about small sliders, and I thought my kids were going to be jealous, but I don't see any.
They'll be here.
I don't see any breakfast sliders
around.
around.
An hour from now.
Okay.
And no, it's
My kids love. My son Charles loves small seafood. Can't have enough of it.
When they first started, we've been on board since they first started.
Yeah.
When they first opened their first.
It's great to see local Baton Rouge companies make it expand.
Yes, and then move to Dallas because that's where restaurants go.
We should keep them here, but we still got to promote them.
Okay, so that Plan Baton Rouge, whatever. What does Dallas have to offer that makes restaurants work? That brings Todd Graves up there. That brings Brandon Landry up there. That's going to take Smalls away from us eventually. Like what does Dallas do that's so freaking great?
In this example, every industry has clusters where it's easier to hire experts, right? Because if all the restaurants are there, all the restaurant people are there, all the experts are there, the conferences are there.
Right.
It's natural that different seasons, especially, you have to decide, what are we going to specialize in? Is it petrochemicals? What is the thing that makes Baton Rouge incredible? And the river is going to be a big part of that. There's no doubt about it. It is the most unique feature that we have.
Hammond's going to be the carbon capture center. That's what they've already set that up at Southeastern.
Okay.
So on the expert side, I mean, maybe we piggyback off of that since it's only half an hour away. But yeah, I would like to go into everybody who relocates their corporate restaurant headquarters in Dallas and say, what is it that they have to offer? And then go to them and say, y'all need a satellite office over here.
I'm sure we have better food in Dallas.
We have better food. We always have better food. But, I mean, we've lost two big ones now to them. So.
All right, buddy. We get to the office.
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. If you're rolling with the mayor tomorrow morning, I'll probably see you out in the 30s.
I'm coaching a basketball game in the morning. What time will you be in the 30s?
10-ish. They have the ribbon cutting for the Highland Road location.
Okay.
The mayor's daughter lives next to my sister.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. He was telling me a story out at the game the other night about how he arrested my niece. She's 8 or 9. So, yeah. He's gonna be out there for the ribbon cutting for sure.
Yeah, I think I'll probably be still coaching basketball.
So we got cross country practice at 8, so we're gonna go straight for cross country out there.
Oh, nice.
So.
Okay. Well, if I can make it over, I will.
Good deal.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me on.
Always. We'll see you soon. It's like I've never had water before. Oh. .36 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Let's continue this conversation, but pivot it a little bit to open things up to what's right down the road from us. As we're talking about Plan Baton Rouge Phase 3, as we're talking about revamping downtown Baton Rouge, we just had Charlie Davison here. He was talking safety a little bit. You know who's been showing some wins on that front? Yeah, we're down 19% for violent crime in Baton Rouge, but New Orleans is showing historic numbers, lowest crime rate in 50 years. How can we piggyback off of some of the ideas that are being used right down the river from us, right down I-10 from us, to make Baton Rouge a little bit better as well? Walt Leger is with New Orleans & Company. That's one of the topics we're going to be covering this segment. Walt, welcome back, man. How are you?
Thanks, Brian. It's great to be with you. I'm fantastic. How are you?
Doing very well as well. Lowest crime rate in 50 years. How did y'all get there?
Obviously, we're really proud of that. New Orleans is a world-class destination for major events and conferences, conventions, meetings, and visitors. It's an important part of our economy. We attract people to Louisiana by bringing them to New Orleans first, and then they spread out across the state. So, we've got to be safe and we've got to be clean to be able to really be competitive in that marketplace. And a couple of years ago, we had really had some spikes, not like other places weren't experiencing similar things, but I think incredible leadership from a new police chief. I definitely have to tip my cap to the mayor of New Orleans and also the city council with their leadership and bringing in Superintendent Kirkpatrick, who's done a phenomenal job. But we also are really grateful to the governor and the legislature for committing state police resources, and then the federal government's resources with partnerships with DEA and FBI and so many other agencies. When these agencies work in concert, they can have a huge impact, and they proactively pursued the most violent criminals and the drug dealers who are driving a lot of the violent crime. The DA has done a great job as well. It's really a team effort. It takes team effort, and that's what we've seen. Really proud to say that historic lows of violent crime, as you said, going back even before 1970 at this point.
Yeah.
And that's translating to a much better community for the people who live in New Orleans and of course, for those who visit as well.
We're talking with Walt Leger from New Orleans and Company about the ridiculously low, I don't say ridiculously low, but historically low. I mean, it's 50 years that we're looking at here, Walt. But there's a secondary battle to this. There's being safe and there's feeling safe. How are things on the perception front?
Look, perception always trails reality. And so I think there continues to be concerns that that safety is an issue, though I think the data proves otherwise. And there are other things that are important to make people feel welcome, right? I think police presence is important, and we've seen that increase with some additional patrols and some other things in the heavily visited areas downtown in the French Quarter. We've got to keep doing those things. We've seen great work being done by the cleaning crew in the French Quarter. Cleanliness matters too. Makes people feel more welcome and more safe. So, there's work to be done. Look, we'd all like there to be no homicides. We'd like crime to be at zero. I think, unfortunately, we know human nature is never going to allow that to happen, but we want to keep driving these numbers down. And your point's really important. We need some additional weeks and months of success so that the story can continue to get out there and perception can continue to improve. But I think we do see improved perception, but it certainly does trail reality sometimes as well. So we've got to keep doing the work.
Well, and perception can be twofold here as well, Walt, in that the perception amongst the citizens might not be the same as the perception amongst, y'all work in the tourism business. The perception of the tourists, there's been no drop off. In fact, y'all are showing some ridiculous numbers on that front. So people not from here tend to believe we're safer than we do.
That's true. Perspective is important too. And I think, I think more time and more success can get people to a better place on that. We want people from our region to be spending time in New Orleans as well. We want people in Baton Rouge, and we want folks to feel good about coming and supporting the things that are happening in the community. I think we're going to have a great weekend for that with UFC and with Dustin Poirier, Lafayette native. I think we're going to see a lot of friends from Lafayette, a lot of friends from Baton Rouge and around the state in for the event. I hope the event will be as good as it's stacking up to be, and that people have an experience that also reminds them of how great New Orleans is and then leads to more returns in future weeks and months.
I don't know, man. Poirier said the 337's got better gumbo than the 504. He might have lost the crowd.
Hey, man, look, I think friendly competition between neighbors is always a good thing. My family tends towards the Cajun style of gumbo, and I sometimes feel like I find some excellent gumbo in the Lafayette area as well. But no question, it's a good debate to have. We can have a gumbo battle and we can have a MMA fight at the same time. So we're excited to have people from around the state back in the city this weekend.
What kind of numbers are we looking at as far as people coming into town for this thing? Because I mean, it's huge, but at the same time, though, it's a limited ticket.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think I think we're expecting 25 to 30,000 people to come in for the event. Of course, the Smoothie King Center, only holds about 17,000 or so. Ticket sales have pretty much been a sellout. They're close, if not at it. I know the UFC folks that I was speaking to last night are really pleased with the performance, and I'm really excited about the media coverage that's been provided and that's been happening, and I think it's shaping up to be a really sensational event. I think the UFC is going to understand how great New Orleans is and how we're built to host these kind of championship events. And so I expect this to just be the first of many, but I think it's going to be really special given the local ties and the Louisiana ties. So we're fired up about it, and it's going to be a good weekend.
Walt Leger is the president and CEO of New Orleans and Company, and yeah, it is going to be another good weekend. And it follows. Y'all been on a run. You've been on a run down in New Orleans. From Dayton all the way back to the Taylor Swift and then the Super Bowl, and it's been one after another. A couple weeks ago was Essence Fest. Last week you had the Galaxy Con. This is going to be a big ticket item, and then you're going to have 20,000 young Christians coming to town.
Yeah, I love this. We really, we've talked a lot about this. Our team works hard to bring in as many events as we can, and folks in as we can, and sometimes they overlap in unique ways, and so. We've got 20,000 with the Lutheran Church in town. This is a really amazing group of people. They're here for their gathering July 19th through 23rd, so they'll be here really the same time as the UFC event's happening in the Smoothie King Center. They actually have a big event in the Dome to kick things off, and they're going to be working with over 50 different organizations throughout the community doing service projects and contributing to our community through their service and through their Christian mission. And so we're really, how can you not be excited about that? Welcoming 20,000 folks to town, young people who have a mission to improve the world and are working with a number of different agencies and nonprofits to do that all over the city is really a special meeting. So we couldn't be more excited to welcome them in, and you'll see young people moving around the city. They usually are wearing really bright T-shirts. They can be readily identified, and I know makes our community feel good that they're here contributing economically, but also even more importantly, just contributing to building a stronger community and through service. It's a really special weekend.
Well, I expound upon that a little bit, Walt, because I thought this was just a conference. I didn't realize they were getting out and about and doing doing work.
Yes, so they're going to be working with some charter schools. They've identified some neighborhood associations, City Park, Coalition to Restore Coastal Louisiana, Dress for Success, Edible Schoolyard, Hands on New Orleans, KIPS Central City Primary School. I'm just naming a few on the list that I've got. The Blood Center, the Arc of Greater New Orleans, Urban Conservancy. They're going to be doing projects and service throughout the community. They are gathering and of course doing things that you would typically do during a convention or conference of some kind. But this is the fifth time this group's been in New Orleans since 1980, and we feel really blessed that they keep choosing to come back. They obviously have a great experience here, but they also give back a lot. A lot of groups do, but this one's particularly heavy on the service side. So, really impressive group of people.
I'm dying to know what Edible Schoolyard is.
Edible Schoolyard's a really cool organization that teaches young people how to do urban farming and then how to prepare that food in sort of a culinary training program. So it's a really unique organization for young people where they're planting, maintaining and caring for gardens, and then actually reaping the benefits of that and preparing it. I think they serve other kids in the schools and kind of learn the whole cycle of growing, taking care of, cultivating, and then preparing the food. So kind of farm to table almost.
Oh, we got to get Senator Patrick McMath in on this. This follows up on what he was working on last legislative session.
I remember when I was in the legislature, I brought a few legislators down to experience it. So it might be time to get him back in there.
It's where you grow the tomatoes to put in your gumbo. We got Walt Leger on with us from New Orleans and Company. So after these 20,000 kids head on out, August will be here, and y'all got something cool going on all August at that. I'm probably gonna be making a couple visits along the way. Tell me about Culinary.
Yeah, I hope people will make a rundown. Culinary is our annual celebration of the food culture of the city, and the top restaurants create these small prefix meals at a set price, and for lunch they have multiple courses. So for lunches they have to be under $28. For brunches and dinners under 58, and you can really access the best restaurants in the city, and get a good meal, a special meal at a special price. And it's a great opportunity to support local business, to support these folks. We know that August is a little bit slower from a visitation standpoint. People are going back to school, sending their kids back to school. Things tend to cool off a little bit from a visitation standpoint. Makes it even more important that we step up and support our local restaurants that are the backbone of so much of the things happening in our community. So if you check it out on our website, neworleans.com, and Culinary New Orleans, you'll find a whole list of those. You can really plan a cool trip where you can hit a couple of them, and we're encouraging people to book a hotel room, make a weekend out of it, or at least an overnight, and check out a few of these amazing restaurants that we're blessed to have year round, and in a time when they can really use the support.
See, y'all do it all month long. Next week is Restaurant Week here in Baton Rouge, so I'll make you trade off, Walt. You come up here next week, and we'll come down for a Culinary.
Done. Let's make it happen.
Awesome. Hey, we got 1 minute left before we get out. I want you to hang on during the break because I got to talk to you about something off air. Got 1 minute left. Tell me about the Xfinity U.S. Gymnastics Championship.
Yeah, first time we'll have it. This is a chance to see the greatest U.S. gymnasts who are preparing, of course, for the next Olympics. Many of them will have competed in the 24 Olympics and are getting ready for 28. So we're hosting that event here in New Orleans. Please check it out, August 7th through 10th. Last year we had the SEC Championship, a really cool event that I really enjoyed, and I know my family enjoyed going to. We had a great crowd, and of course this is a whole nother level of competition with U.S. gymnastics. So excited to have the gift of them being in New Orleans, August 7th through 10th. Hope people will buy some tickets and come on down.
He's Walt Leger from New Orleans & Company. I'm going to drop you on hold. I'm going to talk to you off air real quick.
You got it.
But always appreciate the time, man.
Thank you.
Thank you. Coming up on 750 at Talk 107.3 FM. Nowhere near done. We got coming up in hour 3, Small Sliders is going to be by for Foodie Friday. Actress Jamie Newman's going to stop by in the 8:15 segment. Of course, we'll have This Day in History next hour as well. Here comes your money now. Hey, Walt. I'm looking for an interview about the fairgrounds. Who should I be chasing down to find out what the latest is, what the controversy is, and what needs to get done? Oh no, nor should she. Well, and they shut up the second that the legislature closed. Yeah. Right. And they were like super loud while session was in, and then as soon as session was over with, it's like, well, our chance to influence anybody is over till next year, so they got quiet. Yeah. All right. Okay. Okay. Good starting point. All right. Appreciate it, Walt. Thanks, man. Bye. Awesome. 7:55, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. We're going to get you to ABC News here coming up in just a little bit. Do need to remind you about the folks over at Landmark Bank. LandmarkBankLA.com is their website. LandmarkBankLA.com. You're not going to find Landmark Bank in downtown Baton Rouge. You're sure not going to find them in New Orleans. You're not going to find them in Manhattan. Where you are going to find them is in our surrounding area. They were founded in 1897 as a community bank. And in 2025, they are a community bank. They have remained true to their mission for well over 100 years now. And while they are a community bank, they lack nothing in service. Personal banking, business banking, whether you're talking about your checking, your savings, whether you're talking about borrowing, they can do it all. No lack in services, no lack in technology, but what you do pick up as a banker. Don't just get a bank, get a banker. LandmarkBankLA.com. I don't know if I want to talk about this. We had the chat going on in the first hour. It was one of our trending stories. CBS is canceling the Late Show with Stephen Colbert. And they're calling it a, quote, financial decision. But is it? I mean, ultimately, everything is. But there's a different question to be asking here, and that is, what is the nature of our viewing? Like, what are we going after right now? What do you want from your entertainment right now? The chat over on Facebook Live, we were talking about this earlier on in the show, and one of the comments, or a few of the comments, I should say, were about, like, we're all tired of the political rhetoric. We'd like to just clock out and enjoy some TV. And I'm with you on that front, for sure. I don't think that's why Stephen Colbert is being let go, but I'm with you on that front. It's exhausting. So it brings up another question is, like, so many people believe that if you have any kind of platform at all, you should be using it to constantly espouse your political beliefs. And then, like, you're doing everyone an injustice when you're not. But, like, where is the line? Where is the line that just says, enough? I'm so tired. I just want to stop worrying about the rest of the world and just laugh. Just exhale. For 1 minute. 1 minute's all in. Just a minute. To just be. Is it too invasive? Is it too, like, ever present? The politics in our life? Conversely, should it be? CBS says this was purely a financial decision. And if that's a matter of Colbert's losing, okay. Then fine. If he's not winning in the ratings, fine. If the overall volume of the audience is down, okay. We understand that. You can't charge as much for advertising at that point. But the flip side of that is, if you're not watching Colbert, what are you watching? You're definitely not moving over to Jimmy Kimmel if you're looking to get away from political rhetoric. I don't know. Let us know. Oh, we are, like I said, live on Facebook every day, courtesy of the folks over at Lake Urgent Care. Lake Urgent Care brings you not just our Facebook chat, but our YouTube feed, our on-demand content back at talk1073.com. Basically everywhere you pick us up that's not on terrestrial radio. That's brought to you by the folks over at Lake Urgent Care. Let's chat as we get into news here. Where are you turning to just clock out and dial it down? It's 8 o'clock. Here comes news. Let's get the table over here for Smalls. right. Oh, do you have the Jamie Newman interview? It's it might be in the June folder. Cool. Mm, 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 mm. 806 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Hour 3 coming your way right now. Brian here with you. John LaBeouf producing. We're at 77 degrees under cloudy skies to start off your third hour. We're going to talk Hollywood South with Jamie Newman coming up in a little bit. We're going to have small sliders in the house as well, as we've got Foodie Friday coming up before the show is over with today. Before we get to any of that, though, you know how we start the third hour, right? I mean, it is tradition. The good folks over at 5 Star Printing and Signs bring you this day in history.
Well, 1914, the U.S. Army Air Service first comes into being.
Okay.
So we'll start there.
Why not?
Oh, man. I guess we'll report on this, too. 1925, some goof named Adolf Hitler publishes Mein Kampf.
Some goof.
Some goof.
Well, that guy. You know, one of the greatest bits Norm Macdonald ever did was like reading up on Hitler as if he'd never heard of him.
Right. Gosh, man, what a legend, huh?
Because Norm?
Oh,
yeah.
Man.
Because it starts off like semi-positive, and like as he's reading, he goes, hold the phone. It's so good.
Wait, he wants to do what?
Says he formed a political party.
Yeah. Oh, man. 1938, Douglas Corrigan arrives in Ireland after a 28-hour flight, supposedly leaving New York, flying to California.
Yeah.
Got the nickname Wrong Way.
Wrong Way Corrigan.
Yep,
right.
That's it. Oh, man. 1940, Democratic Convention nominates FDR for a historic third term.
All right. Go ahead there, Democratic Convention.
Yeah. The music news here. 1980, Billy Joel's Glass Houses tops U.S. charts featuring It's Still Rock and Roll to Me. So that happened.
Fantastic.
Yep.
You know, Billy Joel guy?
Not really.
Not.
Yeah.
You know,
He's got a few. He's got a few.
take it or leave it.
He's got a few.
Yeah.
You know. Say, speaking of music, Kiss from a Rose released by Seal today, 94.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm glad to know someone kept track of that.
Right. Of all music, it's just funny, this website here. Hey, Kim Jong-un is officially appointed Supreme Leader of North Korea this day in 2012. Oh, man.
Good for him.
That following year, Detroit, Michigan, the city files for bankruptcy, become the largest U.S. municipal bankruptcy at $18.5 billion.
Dude, this day in 1969, Ted Kennedy drove off the bridge in Chappaquiddick.
Oof.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, killed Mary Jo, what was her last name? Mary Jo Kopechne.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Golly. What year was that, 69?
Yes.
Dang. Oof. Any other events on this day?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Moving on to birthdays here, I got Nelson Mandela today, along with actor Vin Diesel as well.
Okay.
Let's see, who else? Richard Branson as well.
Yep. Kristen Bell's in that mix.
Oh, yeah.
Wendy Williams is in that mix.
Actor James Brolin as well.
Okay.
Let's see.
Thurgood Marshall's up in there.
Yeah. Red Skelton.
Okay.
Let's see, who else?
A lot of deaths.
Yeah.
Did I have anybody on my sports list? Did I even open up my sports list today?
It's been that type of day.
Dude, I just hit a wall of tired, man.
Oh, man. Ricky Skaggs.
Okay. Here we go. Well, Louisiana born and raised. Former Brewers pitcher Ben Sheets, born on this day in 1978. Penny Hardaway, born on this day in 1971. And Yankees Hall of Fame manager Joe Torre, born on this day in 1940.
All right. Yeah. Starting off in deaths here. Bob Newhart today. Well, actually 1 year ago today. Let's see who else here. Explorer John Paul Jones. Are we worried about him? What do we?
No.
Anything else? Let's see.
Yeah, got a couple more who died on this day. We've got a whole lot of military from like other countries, so we're gonna skip past all of them.
Okay.
It's other countries.
Yeah.
I don't know why they're listed like this.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes depending.
Betty Grable, Lee Iacocca. You said Jimmy Stewart?
Oh, no.
Stewart. Yeah, Jimmy Stewart, Ernest Hemingway, and Amelia Earhart.
Okay, those are solid. Let's see. As far as national days go here for his birthday, I guess it's Nelson Mandela Day. It's also National Caviar Day.
National Caviar Day? That can't be a thing.
National Dapper Your Data?
No. What do I got? I have one. Hang on. It is. Oh, yeah. I got Nelson Mandela International Day.
Yeah.
So there you go. Boom. We'll stick with that one. 812 Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Need to remind you about the folks at the Louisiana Travel Association. They teamed up with the folks at Miller's RV for Brian's Big Adventure, taking my family on the road, going to explore a little bit of Louisiana has to offer. But also, I want to tease what's coming up towards the end of next month. The Louisiana Travel Summit is going to be at I believe, the Golden Nugget in Lake Charles. It's in Lake Charles. But one of my favorite things about the summit, when the Louisiana Travel Association brings me out to it, is I get to talk to folks from areas of the state who you don't really think of first and foremost when you think of tourism, but they've all got something to offer. For example, last year, the tourism director for Monroe, Louisiana, could not have been better. This was before the Meta announcement came out too. So I was just like making Duck Dynasty jokes, but she had something for me on every front. Washington Parish has state parks like you wouldn't believe. In fact, part of Brian's Big Adventure, I believe we're swinging by Boca Chica. The North Shore, Jefferson Parish. I mean, forget about just, you got New Orleans, sure, but what about Jefferson Parish? What about the Lafayette region? What about the Lake Charles region? What about Cenla? What's there to do on the tourism front in Cenla? Well, I learn all these things when I go to the Travel Summit, which is presented by the Louisiana Travel Association. Learn more on their website with the Louisiana Travel Association. You can have my computer freeze. Learn more at their website, louisianatravelassociation.org. Quick break. We've got Jamie Newman next. At the right level?
1, 2, 3, baby.
Awesome. Been looking forward to this next guest for some time now. The new film is called Thirsty. It's been available on demand most of this month. Jamie Newman is with us. Jamie, good morning. Welcome to Talk 107.3. How are you?
Good morning. I'm so happy to be here.
No, glad to have you on here. Glad to be talking about the film business with a fellow Louisianan. So let's start right there. How do you make your way from New Orleans to Hollywood?
Well, yeah, like I said, I'm born in New Orleans, born and raised, and I just always wanted to act. And so as soon as I could, basically right after high school, I was like, I'm going to New York, which, you know, I love theater, but I definitely always was like, I want to be a movie star. So I don't know, I didn't go to Hollywood really, but I was like, I wanted to go and study. And now I lived in New York almost 20 years. And then, yeah, COVID time, I came back home and I'm very happy about it.
Sorry, you mentioned, born and raised in New Orleans. Where'd you go to high school?
Mount Carmel.
Okay. I got family went to Mount Carmel. So
Nice. You're in Baton Rouge, right?
Yeah, I'm from the area though. I grew up on the North Shore. The rest of my family's from the South Shore. So moved to Baton Rouge for LSU and just kind of stuck.
I got you.
Tell me about Thirsty.
So Thirsty is a film about this woman, Audrey Allen. She's a public defender in Oakland and wants to run for mayor of Oakland. And she's trying to unseat this current mayor who everybody loves. She's also a wife and a mother of two beautiful babies. And you know, like very grassroots campaign. It's from Oakland, really is like, I want to make changes for the people of Oakland. And so gets a little attention for her grassroots campaign and gets a team and a campaign manager who ends up being her high school like hookup.
Okay.
Someone who used to hook up in private, but then he would ignore her in public. So there's all this unresolved like anger, but also tension. So it kind of puts her in this love triangle that she did not see coming. And so it's you just see Audrey being really driven and capable and also messy. And then, you know, she's got her sister, who's played by Thora Birch, who's incredible, who's dealing with addiction issues and in and out of rehab. So, you know, Audrey feels responsible for her and also like loves her fiercely, but is like, don't mess this up for me. So, yeah, I love the film because you see this woman being very human, like all the facets of being a human.
And this seems to be a growing trend here. Are we getting there with the female characters where you have the, you know, rock solid in one aspect of life and vulnerable in others, and it adds layers to the story?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I feel like humans are so weird, and they do, like, we all do things that we're like, why did I do that? And, you know, I find people incredibly fascinating, and, you know, also people making choices that you're like, oh, I know that's not the right choice, but I really want to do it, you know?
Right.
So people like pursuing their passions and like what they think is, you know, upstanding behavior. And then it's just like coupled with the need to feel alive and excited, and how sometimes that can like play off of each other. And then also I like, even in the love triangle, it's like I have this solid home life, you know, and we're dealing with all the you know, hardships of having two young kids and both having careers and trying to juggle that. And now also going after this thing where I'm quitting my job to run for mayor, and my husband being like, what? We have a newborn baby. Like, this is not the time. And Audrey being like, this is the time. I have to do it now. So, yeah, I think, and then also like, then meeting this old flame, which all of a sudden you're like, God, the feelings from high school still exist all these years later. So I find all that really interesting to play with as an actor.
Talk about playing with that as an actor, because this is one of those ones where, you know, from the outside looking in, it seems like it would be easy to lose yourself in the character here because there's so many different facets to the character. You're juggling different, you know, storylines or you know, I don't want to say, you know, you're juggling different pieces of your character along the way. How easy is it to get lost in that versus remaining yourself, you know, off camera?
Yeah, that's interesting. You know, I find that when I'm going after a character, like trying to understand, it's like I often bring myself. It's like, how would I be in this circumstance? Like with this upbringing, with these situations, with these obstacles, you know, I just have no other way to imagine it except from my own perspective.
Right. And
you know, you can form characters in a lot of different ways too. I mean, if you're from South Carolina, that's going to change the way you talk, or if you're from New York, or if you're from California, or, you know, if you had a bad injury that leaves you limping, you know, it's like all these different things can inform your character. And at the same time, for me, it still feels like me as this person. And, you know, Audrey, I think I brought, you know, a good amount of myself to, and, you know, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not even freaking close, you know. I was like, please let me stop going to school as soon as possible, except acting. I just always wanted, I was like, I'll study acting, but like, please don't make me go to math class. you know? So, there's some parts of her that I'm like, wow, I can't even relate at all. But then I also love that there's this very smart, capable career woman who like loves to go dancing and like act a fool. And, so I like the kind of feralness of Audrey, even though she's running for mayor and she's still like a wild child. And I love that part about her. And yeah, in terms of like keeping it all straight, I just did my damn homework is what I did, just reading the script all the time. I felt very prepared every single day, showing up, being like, okay, I know exactly what we're doing. And then also getting to act with incredible actors so that your job, it's like, I know the script, I know my lines, I know where I'm coming from, I know what I'm after, but then you have the surprise of what your scene partner gives you. And so it's always new and interesting and surprising. And you have to kind of keep an openness with that anyway at least for me, I can't really plan out how the scene is going to go. I can only know what my intentions are and what I'm after as the character,
Very cool stuff. Feralness was not the word I was expecting right there, but I see how it applies, to be sure.
Yeah.
It's a cool background to know that's the word that you would use for Audrey right there. Very, very cool stuff. We got just a couple minutes left with Jamie Newman, star of Thirsty, which is already available on demand. Jamie, I want to pivot the conversation. Obviously, since you're on in Baton Rouge right now, I want to talk Hollywood South a little bit. Comment a little bit on how the industry has grown in our own backyard.
I'm curious of the current state of it. Actually, we've been blessed, and also with tax credits that have attracted a lot of industry here. And I think at one point we were making more films than actual Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
And then I know like we lost tax credits. I think they're
back.
Which is so nice. But I think it's been hard times with COVID, and then the writers and the actors strike. But hopefully it's growing again. I have heard some rumors of productions coming around here. But yeah, I know a lot of my friends around here who have made their living making movies and TV shows. I know they're eagerly awaiting it to be booming again, but I'm positive, I'm hopeful.
So I'm a huge fan of the industry here. We got Celtic Studios here in Baton Rouge. There's plenty going on down in New Orleans, down Chalmette Way as well. So to see it grow as an industry that like, I don't look at it as oh, cool, movies are made here. I look at it as oh, my neighbor's house is no longer for sale because there's a job here that someone can have and then we'll buy that house. So I look at it from the economic standpoint, to be sure. From an artistic standpoint, how do we stack up?
God, like, is there a place more magical than New Orleans? I don't know. Like, this is an incredible place to live and make art.
Mm-hmm.
And, the scenery, first of all, is like incredibly gorgeous and otherworldly to me. I think there's a lot of magic in this town.
Yeah.
And so I find inspiration. And, besides like the big industry, the independent film scene in New Orleans is mighty. It's like small and mighty. And I know some of my best friends here are all filmmakers. And I love that I can be like, hey, let's make a thing. And everyone's down to help.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like a real sense of community in movie makers around here of just like, oh, you want to make a thing? Here, you can borrow this. I'll let you do this. I'll lend you my time. If we can make some money, we will. But if not, we're still going to make the thing. And I love that about the just like ingenuity of people here.
Last one before we get you out of here. I greatly appreciate your time. Last one before for Jamie Newman before we got to clock out. And that is, okay, so you're going away for a little while. You got to go out to, Hollywood to make a movie. You come back home to New Orleans. What's the first thing you do? What's the thing you miss the most when you're not home?
I kind of always make a stop at a Chafalaya, this restaurant uptown. And one of my dear friends owns it. But I was just there yesterday, and I was like, God, this food is so good. It's like endlessly good. And it's in this like old house on uptown in Louisiana and Laurel. And that's like one of my first stops where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go eat some delicious food. I'm probably gonna see some friends. I'm gonna be in a gorgeous scenery. I drive an El Camino, and I always miss the El Camino when I'm not here. So I just like go cruising around, grab a drink, cruise around some more. The New Orleans way.
Very cool stuff. She is Jamie Newman, star of Thirsty Witches, already available on demand. Jamie, thank you so much for a couple minutes this morning.
Yeah, thank you.
Got news, traffic, weather coming your way about 3 minutes from right now. Do need to remind you about the folks over at Vex European. VexEuropean.com is the website. If you drive a European vehicle, go ahead and check out Vex European. Hit that vehicles tab right there and see if your make of car is on there. If it is, Vinny and his team, they have a master level and expert level technician who could take care of your vehicle. Now, want to talk specifically to owners of Jaguars right now. Dealership closed a couple weeks ago, right? You are not left in the lurch. Do not worry about it. If you went to the Jaguar dealership in Baton Rouge for your maintenance, for your repairs, for everything you've got going on with your Jaguar, Vex has got you covered. And you know what? They're right there in Industrialplex, not too far from where the dealership was. They're kind of on the backside of Industrialplex on Benefit Drive. Let me give you the exact address real quick. 6265 Benefit Drive. That's where you're going to find them in real life. 225-800-4706. That's where you're going to call to make an appointment. But do like me. I make my appointment right there on the website. Actually, let me give you the pro tip here. I hit that little specials tab first to see what's going on. If you've never been there before, you could save $100 on your first visit. Hit that specials tab, then hit the appointments tab and set up your appointment with VexEuropean.com. All right. I had reserved a good bit of time today to talk about the storm because we kept seeing, it was scaling back, and we had Dr. Josh Eachus on with us earlier in the week talking about how it was going to be such a nothing. And turns out Dr. Eachus was 100% right. This was a nothing. Unless you live on the West Bank down in New Orleans. I believe Marrero got some flooding. But Josh was right. He said there will be, spotty, like individual locations. You might see enough to catch some flooding. But I don't live on the West Bank, so I don't care. I mean, I hate to be blunt about it, but I don't care what's going on at Barataria and Ames and Marrero. What? Like you do? You don't even know where that's at.
Well, no, but I mean,
Don't pretend.
I wasn't so
I'm being
bold.
real.
I wasn't so bold.
I'm being real about it, all right? If it didn't hit me, it didn't hit me. That's where I'm at. But we're on the back end of it. You might see some more rain. In fact, we got a 50-50 shot at rain coming up throughout the weekend. Going to be a little bit drier and a little bit warmer to start off next week. Okay, news, traffic, weather. Foodie Fridays coming up next right here on Talk 107.3.
Yeah.
Grab a seat. Come on. We're up next. Do what? Yeah. Go see Landon. He's got more.
No.
Not really.
Do you want him to? No. Okay, I can aim it. I can aim the camera down a little bit.
This is just if I forget some stuff.
Oh yeah.
I brought some cheat sheets.
All good.
No problem.
The only live read I did out of order today was that last one was Vex. That's the only I'm finally being disciplined enough to do my shit where I'm supposed to do my shit. No. Yes. So yeah. No, absolutely. When it first opened, when Jacob was first, as the build out was coming, and it was, we tried to drum up as much hype as we could, and then I got this partnership with the Louisiana Beef Industry Council, and I'm like, well, sliders are made of beef, so every summer, we'll feature y'all for one Foodie Friday, and clocked out, moved on. He's about as active as Drew Brees is. Yeah. Yeah. I had this conversation with the mayor's office earlier of when a restaurant is successful, y'all either move to Dallas or Atlanta. They all do. Walk-ons, y'all, Canes. Canes moved to Dallas. Yeah, y'all and walk-ons both are Atlanta, right? Well, they're both Brandon. So yeah, I mean, well, so Moscona, I think, is going. The afternoon drive host on our sports station. I think he's going. Um, yeah, and in the Smoothie King Center, the nosebleeds are. If you have any ounce of vertigo, it's coming out. I went to a Bruno Mars concert, and my wife got me tickets to a Bruno Mars concert, and we were up in the upper section. It gets vertical fast. Like they maximize the seats by going up. Like it's. I don't know. I couldn't imagine watching a Pelicans game from that high up. Concert's one thing, right? Because you got the big screens, and but we were right on the side of the stage. But like watching a fight from up there, I mean, I don't know. It's pretty cool. It's a great building. It's not a bad seat. It's just how quickly they go vertical. But at a certain point, it's like, why did they move it over to the dome? Well, the dome wasn't available. Like they could have sold 3 times as many tickets, but the dome wasn't available because they got this Young Christians Triennial Youth Gathering. Yeah. So. Yeah. Well, I mean, you think about the amount of food that has come out of this state that like is now national. I mean, what you say, Chris? Doing all right? Let everybody up there know after the show's over. We got Smalls in the house. Yeah, Walk-Ons and Canes are the 2 most recent. Y'all are the most recent, I guess. Walk-Ons and Canes as well. But I mean, like Popeyes, that's. I did a PF Chang's sponsored me for a little while. They're the Chinese restaurant. Hell, even PF Chang's has Louisiana roots. That PF and PF Chang's stands for Paul Fleming. Fleming Steakhouse. Yeah, he's from St. Mary Parish. He got his start from another Louisiana steakhouse, Ruth's Chris. He used to. That's yeah. So. Yeah, play the weather. Us 100.7 the Tiger, our country station. Eagle 98.1 where Condon's at. It's right down the hall. And then 104.5 used to be right across the hall over there, but they moved upstairs to a video studio. So I mean, we long term we want to have a video studio for us as well. Right now it's just the one camera for Facebook. But yeah, they're upstairs. They built out a $500,000 studio for them. It is awesome. Well, they're also a cash cow. You talk LSU all day long. You're getting paid. Yeah, yeah, you're getting paid. I feel pretty positive about them. I'm feeling good about the Saints. I don't know. I don't know. They're putting together a good enough roster. It's like they're not putting together a tankable roster. So not done just yet. Moon Griffon's going to have to stay on the sidelines for another half hour. 838 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Before we close out the week, you know what we do. Foodie Friday. Maybe not firing up the grill. It's more of a griddle this week, and we're taking it to the can, baby. We got small sliders in the house. Steve Cavalier's with us. How are you, man?
Man, doing great.
Let's get this over here.
Yeah, let's do it.
Chat.
Doing great, man. Thanks for having us.
No, glad to have you on here. I love celebrating smalls because, number one, it's an awesome product. Number two, it's a homegrown product. And number three, y'all are wildfire right now.
Yeah, come on, man.
No
That's,
doubt. I mean, you're one of the franchisees.
Yep.
You said you have 4 franchises, four.
We do. Yeah,
right.
We have 4 open right now.
Where are yours again? You were telling me during break.
Yep, we have Prairieville, Gonzales, Thibodaux, Lafayette. About to open that second guy in Lafayette, right across from the college on Bertrand and Congress.
Love that.
So
love that.
We're
and
getting ready.
So when it comes to franchise of smalls, you're talking about the same cans, right? The same, the build out is the same as the original. I remember when the original location on Nicholson was going up, how they just brought them in from somewhere else and dropped them on top of each other, and you're raring to go.
Yeah. We try to make it a big deal, man. You know, we call it a can drop.
Mm-hmm.
So we want everybody, the children, grandpa, grandma, we want you to come and see it. It's a big deal for us.
It absolutely is, and it's fun too.
Absolutely.
It's like real life erector set.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no doubt. It makes it easy for us.
How many small sliders are out there right now?
Yeah, so right now we have approximately 32 out there in about 10 states.
Mm-hmm.
And we have 375 contracted in over 23 states right now. So
y'all are
hold
big time.
Your britches on.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
I was scrolling through the website. You were saying y'all are in Missouri. You're in Wichita, Kansas, for crying out loud.
Yep.
It goes to Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, blah blah blah. It's keeping it Southeastern Conference a little bit as well.
Yep.
But
South Carolina, Texas.
Yep. That's so. To what do as a franchisee, as somebody who has bought in, to what do you attribute this rapid growth?
Yeah. So I'm going to go back to what Brandon started it with.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Brandon's all about the slider, the integrity of the product, outstanding product.
Mm-hmm.
And it starts and ends there, right? And then the ease of operation, is a big deal for us restaurant guys, us restaurant nerds.
Yeah.
Hey, we want to keep it simple, right?
Right.
And Brandon made it that way.
All right, so you were a restaurant guy before you were a smalls guy.
I was. So, 35, 40 years in this gig.
Mm-hmm.
Been around the restaurant business. 25 years of my life was with one company, fantastic organization.
Mm-hmm.
I gave up that gig. Something about this orange can, man, had me pumped up and ready to go. So I saw it, tried the product.
What's the ceiling here? What do smalls have projections of where they want to be? I mean, I would assume penetration in every state eventually, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna leave that up to the gurus in Atlanta.
That's fair
to share that with you. But what I can tell you is we are all about doing it right, having some controlled growth, but small sliders hopefully be right there close to everybody across the U.S.
We're talking with Steve Cavalier, one of the franchisees for small sliders. He's got Prairieville and Gonzales within our listening area. Got a couple of them outside of our listening area as well. Let's talk a little bit about process here, all right? Because this is Foodie Friday. We're looking to up everybody's grill game as well.
Right.
Y'all are, dare I say, purists when it comes to making the slider itself. Starting off with, let's start off with the beef. What kind of mix are we looking at here? 80-20?
Yeah. So Again, I'm going to keep that to the guys over in Atlanta, man. You know, you can't twist my arm too hard on that.
Okay.
Here's what I can tell you. It's fresh, never frozen.
Right.
The product's fresh. And when you order, we're going to cook it.
Mm-hmm.
What a lot of people don't understand is even these guys and gals that love to grill out, you got to make sure you sear that beef, brother.
Yeah.
That's how it goes. Sear that beef.
A lot of heat really quick.
I tell you.
And from the seasoning end, and I know this from having y'all on in the past, it's a simple salt and pepper mix. Y'all don't get too crazy.
No, man, we like to keep it easy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, again, that's what draws restaurateurs to Smalls.
Mm-hmm.
It's the ease of it.
Yeah.
Right? You order it, we cook it, we box it up for you. We love you. Thanks for sliding through. And then on to the next wonderful guest.
Thanks for sliding through. It took me a minute on that one.
Come on, man. That's the way it is, though, right?
We had y'all on, I heard the thanks for sliding through, and I'm like, oh, golly. You've run out of puns.
Hey, somebody got some shirts over here, too. Something about Can Life,
they
too,
got
man.
The Can Life shirt. We're going to show that off.
Making your day a little Smalls a bit better. Come on. How many more you want, man?
You've got
S'morange? You want s'morange? That's the color of our cans. Come on.
I had not heard that one yet.
Come on. Yeah.
All right, that was that one's the new one.
I'm gonna have
today.
to charge you for that one.
That's fine. So a little salt, a little pepper, and then you throw some cheese on top. You melt down that cheese. Once
brother.
you've already seared that side. So
yep, we're gonna throw some smalls on there and that pickle.
Mm-hmm.
Got to have the smalls and the pickle. All that together, flavor profile, game changer.
The ease of making it is one thing. With the patty, y'all do some special stuff with the bun as well. I mean,
we do. We like to toast that bun up just right. Add the perfect amount of butter on there for you. We gotta have it.
And then and I'm out the secret on the back end of this one is put that little hood over it, because then you're not just melting the butter, you're steaming it through. And I've adapted this at the house now, and I've got to tell you.
Wait a minute, man. We need royalty for that.
I'm willing to pay the royalty for that. Because it is a difference maker. Because you're retaining all the moisture and everything. It's that you're not drying it out just to melt the butter onto one side of it.
Yeah.
It is such a game changer from start to finish. We got Stephen Cavallarian from Small Sliders. This is, of course, our Foodie Friday segment, which is presented by the Louisiana Beef Industry Council. BeefIt'sWhat'sForDinner.com is the website. BeefIt'sWhat'sForDinner.com. If you want to learn about all the different ways that beef is fuel for your body at every stage of your life. You need protein to be on the go. You need that iron. You need those 10 vitamins and minerals. BeefIt'sWhat'sForDinner.com. You can learn more about that there. You can also learn a lot more about the tips, the tricks, the recipes, the hacks. They've got it over at BeefIt'sWhat'sForDinner.com. Steve, want to talk to you a little bit more about it's not just the product, it's the service. As a franchisee, can you put not a grade, but a level of importance on that level of service that y'all offer?
Yeah, no doubt. If I could, little shout out to Moss Eats, our franchise group.
Okay.
That's the name of our franchise group. Yeah, you know, we take pride in our squad. They're team members, but they're our squad. Mm-hmm. And we believe that making their day a small bit better will always turn over to our customers and our guests, making it a small bit better. So we like to have fun, man. We think somebody got some recognition cards in here too. So we recognize our team. We care about their birthdays. We care about anniversaries. Mm-hmm. We got that patio. We do special events, birthday events out on that patio for the team. Listen, we're all folks. We're all people at the end of the day. And you got to make them feel like that.
One of my favorite things is you're always going to get that. There's a level of positivity comes along with it. You can tell when you drive through. You can really tell when you walk up.
When you slide through.
When you slide through.
We got to keep it. We got to keep it smalls, bro. We got to keep it smalls, man.
I understand. You can tell when you slide through that there's buy-in there. And when there's buy-in there, you know that they're doing their job because they believe in what they do the same way that you believe in that orange.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And let's not mistake it. We all hear it. It all starts with leadership. Mm-hmm. We surround ourselves with some of the great leadership in our cans. From there, we instill positivity, high energy. We call it Smalls energy. And that's how we live, right? Mm-hmm. You come in, you don't have Smalls energy, we'll help you find happiness elsewhere, but you got to have Smalls energy to work with us, brother.
We will help you find happiness elsewhere. cut that. I'm using that as a drop. We will help you find help. You could slide somewhere else.
Hey, right on, bro. Right on.
All right, let's talk about your favorites, because while
Yep.
y'all are sliders through and through, you do that and you do it better than anybody else on the planet. While y'all are sliders through and through, there are small variances within, right? Throwing the bacon on, you maybe the Biggie Smalls. What's your go-to when you're sliding through your own establishment? What's your go-to order?
Yep. I'm getting a combo 3. We're going to biggie that guy up. We're going to slap some bacon on it. Got to get me a couple of quesos, because that queso, man, you got to dip that slider in that queso, the fries in the queso. Seasoned waffle fries to die for. Don't underestimate the power of the queso. Smalls queso, change your life, brother.
It took me forever to learn that. And
Okay.
once I did, there's no going back.
That's right.
You can't turn your back on it. Once it's a game changer. It's not just for
Yes,
the
sir.
fries. I mean, it's a game changer for the fries. But like y'all's waffle fries, I don't know what's in the seasoning that makes it
And
different.
we can't tell you that either.
No,
so don't go down that road,
I'm
man.
not asking for that. Look, I already know it's the salt and pepper on the beef, right?
Okay.
I already know that one, and that's all we need to know, because the beef does the job for you. Using, like you said, using fresh ingredients, fresh beef makes all the difference in the world.
Right.
And it comes with its own flavor. God did that. So I mean, he
That's
put
right.
that fat in that cow to begin with. So y'all
Yes,
just
sir.
made sure you seared it up just right, smashed it down just right, and then add the cheese, and we already know about to do with the bun. One question I've been asked before: are y'all ever going to put the Smoss in bottles and sell?
Great question.
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta. Where
Okay,
are you?
all right.
Where
Yeah,
are you,
yeah.
Atlanta?
I feel like
Let's go, Baton Rouge. Asking questions over here, Atlanta.
I feel like you want to lobby to have that on your menu as well if you want to
Man,
take home a full bottle.
Here's where we are. If it has Smalls on it, it needs to be in your refrigerator. It needs to be in your house.
100%.
So Smalls travels well.
Yep.
Smalls is a game changer too.
Yep.
Right?
It absolutely
Everybody
is.
has their sauce,
Mhm.
but we have Smalls.
Smalls, and it's not comparable to any other sauce out there. There's a few small little differences within, but those small differences become big differences in the flavor, and it pops.
Brandon Landry's the man.
Yep. We got a break on air on Facebook Live. I'm about to stuff my face. Y'all already know the outcome of this one. This is a no-brainer because you already love Smalls. So here comes your money now. All right. Let me see if I could be descriptive, not just drooling. I appreciate that.
Josh, you doing all right, man?
I'll go down to the big kitchen after the show to get plates for everybody else.
You know what, man? I didn't even think about plates.
No, don't sweat it.
You gonna let him eat them by himself, man?
Normally, I just take a little back seat.
After the show, he digs in.
Might get a bite. No, might get a bite if he lets.
24
He
over there,
lets.
right?
No, I'm joking. No, normally, yeah, I dig that.
All right, here we go.
So you guys use this camera for what? Online?
Social media, yes.
Online?
Facebook and YouTube Live. Facebook Live and YouTube Live.
Okay.
Facebook Live is kind of the home base. It's where we can interact in the chat and whatnot.
Okay.
YouTube, I don't have numbers on YouTube. I don't have subscribers on YouTube. We haven't really pushed it hard, but it's there.
Okay.
So the purpose from YouTube was to pull individual segments out and repurpose them.
Get you a napkin, bro?
I grabbed one.
We'll get you one. Look, man. You gotta stay small.
Get small C.
That's it.
Already knew.
Branding at its finest.
Already knew. It's that little bit of dill in the sauce.
It
That's
is.
what sets it apart.
seasoned little onion, little small hint of garlic.
And the thing was, like, for the longest time, I'd bring them home, and my kids were like, just meat and cheese. They don't want the sauce. They don't want the pickle.
We get it all the time, man. But once they try it together, you can. Here's the deal. I tell people all the time. They say, I just don't like sauce. I said, I get it. Just try it on the slider.
Right.
Just try it. If you don't like it, I'll fix it for you. Just try it on the slider. Because they'll take our smalls, dip their finger in it, and taste it. Still good. But the smalls on there,
It's the combination of it.
It works, bro.
It's the combination of it. Absolutely. This is so good. All right. Let me make sure I take my notes so that I've got everything.
We doing all right, Brian?
We're awesome. We're good. So I do a segment on Wednesdays called Legally Served with attorney Franz Borghardt. He's a buddy of mine. He's a criminal defense attorney, and we'll talk about different legal topics. Well, Franz used to have a show called Go Rouge, which was just like celebrating lifestyle in Baton Rouge.
Okay.
And when Smalls first opened, he and I had a bet. He wanted to bet me that he could eat 2 dozen. And I was like, bro, I'm gonna let you off the hook. If you can eat 20, you win the bet. I don't think you can eat 20. He's like, I'd eat 20. I can crush 20.
There's no damn way he ate 20.
He got to 16. He got to 16.
Man, I'm done. Well, I eat biggies.
Yeah.
That's the way to go. Biggie's the way to go.
Yeah.
I can eat 4 biggies, and, bro, I'm done.
So 4 biggies would be, you're not getting double the bun, so.
Right. 4 biggies, I'm
yeah.
done. I don't know how many sliders, probably 6.
So he got 16 down, he got to his 17th, and then he went over and he returned a few.
Then he didn't win, man.
No, he didn't win the bet. He lost the bet hard. I still make fun of him.
Did you try to slam? How many did you slam?
Oh, no.
Oh, you wasn't
No,
part
I
of
know,
it.
but I could. You give me 4 and I'm out. Yeah,
that's
you give me 4, I'm going night-night.
God, 16 sliders.
Mm-hmm. He was going hard.
That's still a good slider, ain't it, man? That guy was made at, I picked it up from Gonzalez at $7.15.
Wow. Okay.
See how good they hold,
Yeah.
man?
Yeah, they do.
See, that's the way I like to eat them.
I need to start asking for them in a metal pan instead of styrofoam.
Get 25, brother.
Yeah.
We'll put them in there for you.
It's not that far off when I do it for the family.
I was about to say, what's the age of your kids?
I have a 17-year-old who's about to go off to college. I have a 12-year-old and an 8-year-old. So
okay,
yeah. Oh my goodness gracious! One segment to go here on Mornings with Brian Haldane. This is Foodie Friday presented by the Louisiana Beef Industry Council. We've got Steve Cavalier in from Smalls Sliders. Steve's home base in within the listening area. You got Prairieville and Gonzales is where you're going to find his. And then, crud, give me the other ones again. Thibodeau and where was the other one?
Thibodeau, Lafayette.
Thibodeau and Lafayette.
About to be Lafayette number 2. Homa's not too far along, man.
Really?
First quarter
All
next
right.
year.
See, that's his
There we
stomping
go.
ground.
Come
yeah.
on.
There we go.
Well,
Yeah.
come on. If Homa's your stomping ground, Thibodeau, you
is on the way.
Oh yeah, for sure.
okay.
Oh yeah, we stopped in at Thibodeau.
Okay.
Oh,
I was about to put you on blast, man.
Oh no,
Come
man,
on.
we definitely do it.
All right, let me give this review here, and I know it so well. Like it's oftentimes during a Foodie Friday, I'll bite into something and it's like I'm tasting it for the first time. One of the things that I love about Smalls is that I'm getting the exact same quality and consistency every time, and that starts with the Smalls. But that's not where I'm starting with my breakdown of it.
Okay.
The buttery bun is unbelievable, and it's what pops you in the mouth first. It's just it's like everything else is going to melt in your mouth because of where the bun starts off. after that, the quality of the beef, the flavor of the beef is fantastic. The not trying to over season the beef is important because it allows that sauce to kick in. And the sauce, which it is unlike any other sauce out there, I'm guessing, you don't have to confirm, and I know you got to keep your trade secrets,
That's right.
but there's this hint of dill in it that makes it just a little bit different, that makes it different than everything else. But when you combine that in with the beef, with the little patty right there, with the slider right there, and then add a pickle to it, which add more dill, it just brings out so much more flavor. And of course, you get the smoothness of the cheese on top that rounds the whole thing out. The consistency of it it's always there. It is ever present, and it is an absolutely perfect slider. So, job well done, Steve.
Man, we appreciate it.
No, absolutely. You know what we even talk about though?
What's that?
Is the milkshakes. I mean,
yeah.
how did we get to 858 and not mention milkshakes?
Well, you were talking about beef, man, but let me go ahead and talk about milkshakes. So right now, limited time only, strawberry swirl milkshake.
Okay.
Again, like our slider, it will change your life.
Okay.
Strawberry swirl. Strawberry swirl. So not a lot of strawberry. We want you to taste it. Smooth, creamy. You better get it fast because middle part of August is gone.
Okay.
So come and get it. It's a summer gig we got going on. But high quality milkshakes. You got the chocolate, got the cookies and cream, got the vanilla. Strawberry swirl for limited time only.
All right. There's the pro tip. Before we get out of here, you have been listening to Foodie Friday, presented by the Louisiana Beef Industry Council. It's the perfect combination, y'all. This is perfect summary. Like we were talking about, how many can you? I'm done after like 3. I could get to 4, but you give me 3, I'm golden, man. I'm set.
Find your pillow.
Find my pillow and make sure, turn up the air conditioning a little bit. Find a pillow and I'm out.
That's right.
So. You know how to, you know where to find them. Anywhere you see those orange cans around, slide on through. They are Smalls. Steve, I appreciate you stopping by, man.
Man, it's my privilege. I appreciate you.
We are all done for the week. Moon Griffon is up next. Y'all have a great weekend. We will see you on Monday. We got our normal Monday lineup coming your way. We've got Medical Monday. We got Will Green from LABI. I believe Moon's back in town. And Restaurant Week next week. We'll see you then. Job well done, sir. All right. Facebook, we got to get out of here, and we will see y'all on Monday.